Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome live inside the Pelham Civic Complex for game number 3 of the 2016 Iron Cup Series. Alabama and Auburn, the Frozen Tide, have taken games 1 and 2. Friday night 9-1, last night 9-2. Eric, do you expect to see the same type of game between these two teams? Because 9-1 and 9-2 is pretty consistent.
I do expect to see a similar type of game, but you never know in this series. We've seen Sunday games be very close, and now that Alabama really doesn't have a whole lot to play for, they've already won the Iron Cup, so this third game is just a formality. But Auburn coming out, they really want to beat Alabama. They haven't done it yet. Alabama is 16-0 now against Auburn. If they can win today, go to 17-0. So Alabama really has not a whole lot to play for, but Auburn, these guys really want to get their first win. So I do expect if both teams play like they should, Alabama should win this game, another 9-2, 9-1 victory, something like that. But Auburn could come out, give Alabama a good game, so I'm excited to see what we're going to get here today.
Absolutely. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you for our pregame presentation. Thanks for joining us live online via alabamahockeyclub.com. Eric, we've been spotlighting a key player or two before the broadcast. I know that you have at least one on your mind today, so let's talk about our spotlight player for game number 3 of the Iron Cup.
The spotlight player today is going to be Sam Schilling, getting his first career start for Alabama. Good to see. He's the fourth goalie on this team, and he hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time. Has gotten a little bit of playing time against Point Mallard in kind of an exhibition game, but he's been practicing just practicing all year. So it's good to see him get on the ice. And he's got some skill. Remember, Alabama's top 3 goalies are really good, so it's hard to crack the lineup when you're the 4th goalie on this team. Sam Schilling is a very good goalie, and I expect him to play very well tonight in his first appearance. You know he wants to play really well, so I expect him to come out and play as well as he can.
I think you're absolutely right about that, Eric. It should be a really fun game to watch, and for this freshman getting this opportunity here in the Iron Cup Series, the biggest attended series of the season, I know it'll be a special moment for him. I know he has some family members here as well, so our best wishes to freshman goaltender Sam Schilling. But Eric, let's look back at last night's game. What are some things that you think Alabama did well that they can use for today's contest? Because I think we both can agree that last night's game from Alabama was much better than Friday night's.
I think they just played with a higher energy level last night. They came out with more intensity. It was a more physical game, and Alabama responded to that. A little early, Alabama was kind of on their back, on their heels, because Auburn came out physical, which we didn't see on Friday, but then they responded. They started getting into that physical play. We saw 2 ejections last night. Dalen Teed and John Lavorne both ejected from that game last night. So I expect Alabama to come out again and play with the same intensity level, the same energy level, because that's what they're going to need to do today with Auburn. With one last chance to get a win against Alabama, you know their energy level is going to be high. So that energy level really needs to be there. It was last night. And then the puck movement was there. We got a bunch of different players on the scoreboard. Last night, I think only 2 people scored multiple goals in that game. We had a lot of players with 1 goal in that game, so I expect Alabama to continue to move the puck, use their line mates, and set up each other, which is something they did really well last night.
Alabama will be looking for their 4th consecutive victory this weekend, and the 3rd of the weekend, but 4th on their season schedule. And, of course, their 17th consecutive over the Auburn Tigers. We'll see if they can get it done this afternoon. Again, I'm Kendall Grayson. He is Eric Evenson. Thanks so much for joining us for our broadcast. And this will conclude our pregame show. We'll take a short break and be back on the other side for the call of the first period as we're live this afternoon in Pelham, Alabama. Hello and welcome live inside the Pelham Civic Complex. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you on this Sunday afternoon. We thank you so much for joining us for game number 3 of the 2016 Iron Cup Series between the Auburn Tigers and the Alabama Frozen Tide. The starting lineups now being announced for each team. And we will see Sonny McCarrack head to the blue line for Auburn, also joined by his teammate Parker Brown. Will Rodell skates out to the blue line for the Auburn Tigers. Mark Feeney goes out to the blue line. And the final starter is Armin Giro. And here's the goaltender announced for the Auburn Tigers. And it is Frank Maslow. And if you've joined us this weekend, you'll notice that the teams have switched colors. They are now wearing alternate uniforms compared to what they had in previous games. Auburn is wearing white, and Alabama is in their crimson uniform set. But for Frank Maslow, he's wearing number 31 in white. Now, he's listed as 42 originally on the roster, but he's been wearing 39 this weekend. So 31 Maslow will start his third consecutive game against this very powerful Division I Alabama team. And for Alabama, they will go with a new man tonight in between the pipes, making his first collegiate start will be number 29, Sam Schilling. He has limited playing time earlier this season as he came in a backup role in Decatur, Alabama, when Alabama faced off against a junior team, the Point Mallard Ducks. So this will be the first collegiate action that Sam Schilling has seen. The starters now being announced for Alabama. The first one is Charlie Corbett, his defense pair teammate that he's been paired with most all the season now. James Benedetto also goes out to the blue line. And a starter announced for Alabama. The next one is Griffin Butler. So there's the freshman Butler starting in tonight's game for Alabama. And he will be playing on the first line. The man to his right is Zach Rude, and he will be starting the game tonight for Alabama. So we see 68 in crimson, Zach Rude head to the blue line. And now we see Halen Buterak, the final starter announced for Alabama, the final skater. Halen Buterak, the senior from Vancouver, British Columbia. And here's the starter from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It's Sam Schilling. And a nice round of applause here from the home crowd. And now we will pause for the playing of the national anthem. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you this afternoon. This is game number 3 of the 2016 Iron Cup. And we will now pause and honor America. And with that, we are ready to go this afternoon live from the Pelham Civic Complex. Game number 3 of the Iron Cup of this 2016 year. Alabama on Friday night, 9-1, the win over Auburn. And on Saturday, 9-2. And so pretty consistent in terms of the offense. Those 9 goals scored each night. That is their average against the Auburn Tigers in their 16-game history, all of which have been won by Alabama. Head coach Mike Quenneville is 16-0 in his career. And he is standing behind the bench along with the coaching staff for Alabama. Again, head coach Mike Quenneville, as you see there on the middle of your screen. To his left on the screen is assistant coach Ian Hebert and Brian Crowley. Assistant coach Brian Crowley is also out there, and he's to the right of the screen from our perspective. Well, 2 captains will shake hands here at center ice. I think we're going to have a ceremonial puck drop, which we will. It's going to be Jake Collins and Parker Brown for each team. As you see the 2 leaned over their sticks, they're live on the video feed. 20 minutes on the scoreboard. Alabama moving from right to left in this first frame of action, and they are wearing their road crimson jerseys for the first time this weekend. Auburn wearing their white set. That is highlighted with a circular AU logo on the front and the orange and blue, the traditional colors for Auburn University. So, Eric, we're getting ready to have puck drop here at center. And if it's anything like last night, this is going to be one great show.
Yes, it is, Kendall. I'm excited to see how both these teams come out. One, a lot more to play for than the other, but you know Alabama, they don't want to be the team that loses the first game to Auburn. So I think they'll come out fast tonight.
We are underway this afternoon in Pelham. Played out to center immediately by Auburn as they shoot the puck after winning the faceoff. And now Alabama will play to the near side. Zach Rude has it go off of his stick. He's looking for it in the offensive zone. Skating to it is Armin Giro. And now it's turned over to Alabama's Rude. Out in front, though, as he couldn't do anything with it. It bounces around. It's picked up by Sonny Matt Karak. Left wing side, drop pass, top of the circle, shot, he scores! Matt Karak opens a scoring, 19:28 left to go in the first period, and Auburn is up by a goal.
Sonny Macrack just comes down the left boards there. It's just a really good shot there. Maybe a little early game jitters there from Sam Schilling. First shot of the game goes in. Hopefully he can get settled in there and make some saves here.
We saw this earlier this season when Sam Schilling let in a goal from the blue line against Point Mallard. I know one that he certainly was upset at himself about. But after that shot, he really did settle down and played a good game and finished the game for Alabama that afternoon in Decatur. So it's a 1-0 lead for the Tigers, the first time that they have led in this series this weekend. Auburn shoots it out to center to the near side. It's going to be Dane Santa, the puck carrier for Alabama, back into the defensive zone. He slides it across ice. We've played 1 minute in this game, and Auburn has the 1-0 lead. Down the ice it rolls now behind the goaltender Frank Maslow. As he looks on, it's picked off by Dane Santa. He dropped it behind the goal. No one there for Alabama, and it comes along the near side as Auburn looks to clear it out of the defensive zone. Jake Collins goes flying around there and try to break up the play. Dylan Teed as well. But Auburn is able to carry it down the ice. The Tigers will have it at center now as they shoot it into the offensive zone. It goes hard around the boards. Ian Soifer couldn't find it, but Jake Collins will have possession. He brings it out in front of his goaltender, Sam Schilling, crosses back to center. Right over the red line, he fires one wide to Frank Maslow, and Collins wants a line change. He goes off. The Tigers turn it over here. Good work by Jerry Jordan from Willis, Michigan. Down low off the backhand, and he tried to center to Dylan Teed, who's having a phenomenal weekend, but it goes off the back of the goal. Now played to the blue line. It's Alabama's John Lavorne. Lavorne gives a cross ice feed to Jerry Jordan, who's rubbed it in the wall with 18:07 left to go in the first period. The Tigers are up by 1 goal out in front. Nothing there as the centering pass was intended for Zach Rude. It's picked up by his teammate Andre Merard and thrown off the backhand, but it's intercepted here in the defensive zone, and Andrew Inches looks to make the clear along the far side. And the Tigers will have it. They shoot it over the blue line here. Back to the near side as Charlie Stedschkoll plays the puck. To the near side, it's Andre Merard. And it's going to be maybe a break here. Merard's flying, fires one just wide of Frank Maslow, who I would imagine the war of attrition is really going to start to wear down on him in this Sunday afternoon game, playing his third game in 3 nights against this Alabama program. Corbett centers through the high slot, no one there, and so it's played by Rude to the far side. A slap shot is fanned on by Benedetto with a point. He couldn't get much mustard behind it, and with 7:17 left in the first period, it's sent down the ice. And behind the goal of Sam Schilling, Alabama looks to leave the zone once more. Here's Andre Merard from Huntsville, Alabama, the former MVP of this Iron Cup series just a few seasons ago. On the red line, sent into the offensive zone by the Tigers. Parker Brown's looking for it behind the goal of Sam Schilling. James Benedetto's run in two. Alabama looks to move it. 16 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the first period. And as you see on your screen on our video feed, Auburn with the 1-0 advantage. Rob Ferrari just tripped over the blue line there. He lost all possession and couldn't make the play. Halen Buterak tries to find it. And Buterak is crunched along the near side wall by Matt Karak. And he was the man who ran into Dylan Teed after the whistle last night that really created that big scrum to our left and was really one of the highlights of last night's game. 16:20 now left to play in the first period. Still a 1-0 advantage for Auburn. It goes off the lower body of Rob Ferrari, and he goes back into the defensive zone. cross ice feed. Alabama tries to intercept right in front of their bench, and they do. So it's taken over by the Tide. It's Ferrari, looks to spin off the backhand. He turns it over with a forehand. Here's a chance now for the Tigers. Shot on the way. Save made by Sam Schilling, and it comes out to Rob Ferrari. And Alabama will look to clear here. They have speed. They have numbers. 3-on-2. Out in front for Buterak, and it goes up and out of play. And we'll have a stoppage with 15:53 left to go in this first period. The Auburn Tigers have a 1-0 lead.
Good play there from Ferrari. Throwing the puck on net, he had Halen Buterak going hard to the net, trying to get something started there with a little bit of a tip play. But a bad turnover there that almost created a goal for Auburn. He had Ian Soifer on the DDD pass. He tried to do too much and reverse it back to the other side, and there was none of his players there. If he just looks and makes the easy pass, there's no turnover there.
Off the face-off, Alabama has it. They center it off the back of Maslow. It falls down, and where's the puck here? The referee lost it. Looks like Maslow actually pinned it up along the cage. And we're going to have a stoppage with 15:43 left to go here in this first period. Face off in the offensive zone for Alabama on the left wing side. Dane Santa holds on to it in the corner. Now behind the goal as Alabama is looking to throw some pucks on the net here. It comes to the blue line and held in off the backhand. Chipped. Collins fires on the redirect, and Maslow covers it up, and he will get a stoppage in this hockey game. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you this afternoon. 15:31 left to play in the first period. Auburn with a 1-0 advantage currently over Alabama.
On most of the goals where Alabama has scored on Frank Maslow, they've gone up high and lifted the puck, so maybe that's something they need to do here.
Quick shot. Goes in behind the goal. And it will now be played to the near side to the blue line, and it will jump the stick of the defenseman, Mike DeLees. And so now Dylan T plays it for Alabama back into the defensive zone as he's in front of his bench. Now gives to Corbett, and he picks it up in the defensive slot and will look to move to center. Charlie Corbett fires it by Dane Santa. He couldn't catch up to it, but it will glide down the ice slowly, and he tried to play it there, so it will not be icing against Alabama. It's picked off here by the Tigers. This is Chris Hickley. Hickley carries it over the blue line. He fires, and Sam Schilling came out to make the save, and that draws a nice round of applause here from the home fans in Pelham. All the way around the boards with 14:41 left to go in this first frame. 1-0 is the lead for Auburn. To the red line. Alabama has Dylan Teed with it. Looks to make a nice move. Armin Guiro is there to play defense, and then his teammate Mark Feeney comes in and levels Teed. That's the second time Teed's been leveled in the corner, and now an Alabama man chopped down behind the play. Jake Collins, nothing called, and Auburn will cross over the blue line onside. Here's a drop pass now. Alabama's in trouble. They have to clear it. Ian Soifer has possession, and Soifer will calmly make the play. He will try to set up to Jake Collins. It hops his stick at center, and Collins beats out the icing whistle. He has Merard out in front of the goal, and Collins couldn't get the pass away. Now Merard comes in to assist him. Andre Merard runs into his man, creates some space for Lavorne, who rips it from the point, and the save is made by Maslow. It comes to the near side with 13:55 left to go in the first period. 1-goal advantage for the Auburn Tigers, trying to defeat Alabama for the first time in their team's history. Here's Zach Rude for Alabama in the corner with it. Off the backhand, he'll shuffle to the near side, and it's chased down by his teammate Andre Merard. Back to Lavorne, fires, tipped in front of the goal by Rude. Save made by Maslow, and it goes into the corner once more. Number 68 in crimson, Zach Rude makes the play, but he's turned it over now, and the Tigers will look to clear to center off the stick of Armin Guiro. They have it to center, now in the defensive zone, but Alabama has full possession. It's Soifer who shoots to Zach Rude. Rude is onside. He will try to get it to Merard here through the slot, but the play is not there, and it comes back to the near side. Adam Carlson looking to move around the defenseman John Lavorne, who usually is a forward for Alabama, but playing defense in this afternoon's game. And John Lavorne was having none of it. Down the ice, it's Merard out in front, and it just rolls off the stick of Jerry Jordan, and he could not fire that one towards the goaltender, Frank Maslow. We've played 7 minutes in this game. The Auburn Tigers have a 1-0 lead. Zach Rude in front of the bench as James Benedetto played it to the far side. Now back into the defensive zone, and here comes Alabama once again. It's Andre Merard. He's onside. Fires, save made by Maslow, and it comes to the near side corner. Merard looks to shuffle it and goes to the blue line. Now it's Corbett. He rips it, scores! Charlie Corbett. 1-1 game here in Pelham.
What a shot from Charlie Corbett. Had a lot of room. Just stepped in, fired the shot, and it went right over the left pad of Frank Maslow. Good shot there from Charlie Corbett.
So after Auburn took their first lead in this series, Alabama finds the defenseman Corbett, and the freshman from Eureka, Missouri
Scores! Charlie!
tie this thing up. So it's a 1-1 game. Mike DeLees will take it in the defensive zone. He slides it over to James Benedetto. Here's DeLees with it for Alabama's. We're back underway. Here's Sonny Matt Karak as he'll carry it over the blue line for the Auburn Tigers off the backhand. One-timer from Giro. It's slow, and it's blocked by Griffin Butler, and he made the clearing attempt himself. Good job there by number 15 in crimson, Butler from Brownsboro, Alabama. Played along the near side, out to center, as Buterak looks to move it forward, but he couldn't catch up to it. A quick shot goes wide of the goal of Sam Schilling, and Alabama will try to find it to center. Rob Ferrari bodies his man into the wall. Now Buterak will play, and we're going to have a high stick call here at center, so the play will stop with 11:54 left to go in the first period. We see Sonny Matt Karak go off the ice, and Alabama will head to the man advantage.
This is big here. Alabama hasn't gotten a whole lot in terms of chances here. They have a couple, one scored on from Charlie Corbett. But other than that, all their shots have been really from the outside. Just a big chance, move the puck around, find the open guy on the power play, and try to put one in the net.
And here's Charlie Corbett. He'll move to the near side. Jake Collins looking for it now on the power play. 10 seconds into this man advantage. Here's Charlie Corbett now to Dylan Teed. He's open, looking to fire. Cross ice feed. The shot on the way. Maslow made the save. James Benedetto was on the doorsteps as Collins tried to center it out in front of the goal, but the play was not there. Alabama still holds the zone. It's Corbett, the goal scorer, as he gives to Collins. Corbett to Collins to Benedetto with a cross ice feed. Top of the circle. Back to Charlie Corbett. He's open. He will shoot. Maslow makes the save. Where's the puck? The rebound's there. Collins slides it wide of the goal. In behind the net of Frank Maslow. He looks on. It's turned over. Teed fires. And it's a short side save there made by Maslow. He covers it up. And now Dane Santa takes a shove from Michael Ritter. And nothing more will come of this. 11:09 left to go in the first period. 1:16 left on the Alabama power play. It's a 1-1 game between Auburn and Alabama.
Sooner or later, these refs are going to have to call something on the chippy play after the whistle, because that's how that game got out of hand last night, is from them just standing there, not calling any penalties, not punishing those players for doing things after the whistle. So sooner or later, they're going to have to call something, or this game's going to get out of hand.
Underway on the power play. It's Alabama's John Lavorne from Newtown, Connecticut. He slides it across the ice to Soifer. Back to Lavorne, back to Merard now. Merard's near side pass to Lavorne. Winds up, and the save is made by Maslow as he tips it up and out of play. It's hit as it hits the netting with 61 seconds left to go in the Alabama power play. 10:54 left here in the first period on this Sunday afternoon as we're live from the Pelham Civic Complex in Pelham, Alabama. And a penalty has been called here to Mark Feeney for Auburn. As you can hear the applause start to fire up. Alabama should have maybe a two-man advantage. Yes, so it should be 2 minutes. And they just had a line change there for Auburn. So 5 players setting up along the left wing side, although the referees are still talking here at the scores table. So we will see what is called, and we'll pass on any information if we can.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're going to either call a double minor or a major. There's a 5-minute major up there against number 6, Mark Feeney. And I believe he cross-checked or did something to Jerry Jordan right in front of the net, because we saw Jerry Jordan fall down and then the ref raise his hand. And it's going to be a 5-minute major for slashing. We saw this on Ian Soifer last week against Central Oklahoma. So a 5-minute major for slashing. So Alabama will be on 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 1 second here, and then a 5-on-4 for 3:59, which they can score as much as they want on that one.
So here we go. Merard takes the face off on the left wing side. Ferrari comes in to help him out as it's tied up, and now it moves to the blue line. Lavorne barely holds it, and he's got it. Looks over for a shooting lane to Ian Soifer. Back to John Lavorne. Fakes his shot. Merard was not ready for the pass there, and Lavorne really didn't help him out as he fired it by him. And now Rob Ferrari has to chase it down to the far side. He has it. Alabama working the 5-on-3. Shot save made by Frank Maslow as he caught it in the midsection. 10:32 left to go in the period. Still a tie game.
5-on-3 here for Alabama. There's a lot of open room. Not really moving the puck around, making Auburn shift. That's what you want to do on a 5-on-3. Make them get out of their triangle formation, get people out of position, and you'll get open shots, open players. So Alabama needs to move it quicker and try to get Auburn moving.
And here we go. It's Corbett. He'll have it to the near side. Fires, save made by Maslow. It falls down. Alabama's looking for it. Santa tries to shoot it. The net is open as he's out of position, Maslow. Now it comes back to the near side, and Alabama could not get the shot off. Here's Jake Collins from Hudson, Ohio. Has room. Shoots. Save made by Maslow. Dane Santa scores on the rebound. 2-1 lead for Alabama. And Santa, for the second night in a row, strikes.
Jake Collins just takes a nice shot there. Does a great job of not trying to put it in one of the top corners, possibly missing the net. Does a great job shooting it low and hard. Goes off the pads of Frank Maslow. And then Dane Santa, always right in front on that power play, does a great job screening the goalie, getting tips and rebounds, puts in another one. So a good job there from those two guys.
As you see on your screen, 1 goal for Dane Santa coming into tonight. 10-10 left to go in the first period. We're back underway, and Alabama will chase it down here in the offensive zone.
And Alabama now has a 4-minute and 10-second 5-on-4 here, and they can score as much as they want, like I said earlier.
Merard shoots, and he does. He'll score. Andre Merard lights the lamp on the power play, and Alabama, down by 1, now have scored 3 consecutive goals, and they lead this game 3-1.
What a shot from Andre Merard. Just puts it right over the left shoulder there of Frank Maslow. Off the crossbar. Frank Maslow's exhausted down here, maybe shaken up. But just a great shot from Andre Merard. And we talked about what Alabama needed to do early in this game, maybe not having a whole lot to play for. We said they needed to get up to an early lead and just put the dagger in Auburn early so they have no hope left in this game. With this 5-on-4 here for 4 more minutes, already up 3-1, Alabama has a chance to put away Auburn early in this game.
The face-off at center will be taken by Dylan Teed as he goes up against Parker Brown. Brown wins for Auburn. He sends it down the ice where it hits John Lavorne in the lower body, and Lavorne looks to wrap it around his goaltender, Sam Schilling. He chooses to play to the near side. He uses his speed, flying in the offensive zone now, making some nice moves. Lavorne, backhand, it's shut down by Maslow. What a play there from John Lavorne. Alabama still has possession onside as it goes to Ian Soifer. Soifer will give to Lavorne. Lavorne shuffles it down low to Collins. Collins plays all the way behind the goal to the near side and is picked up by Dylan T at the top of the circle. One-timer from Soifer. They score! A tip in front of the goal. And his first career goal, Halen Buterak.
Halen Buterak right in front of the net where Dane Santa got his goal. And just a great low hard shot there from Ian Soifer, and Halen Buterak with a great tip for his first career goal. Great to see.
Absolutely. You see on your screen the celebration there. His teammates know it. And the senior playing his last year of eligibility. And for Halen, that's a special moment. So congratulations to him, his first goal in his career. 9:18 now left in the first period, and Alabama is using this extended power play, and they're looking to really put the Tigers out of this game. Again, it was a 1-0 lead early. The first shot of the game on Sam Schilling went behind him, and so far, nothing has passed. I'm not even sure Auburn has registered a shot after that early chance and that early goal. 4-1 is the lead for Alabama. Top of the circle, left wing side as they continue to work the power play. The major penalty, they can score as many times until that time runs out. They'll have the 5-on-4 advantage. Shuffle down low to Butler. Butler plays up high to Benedetto. Here's James Benedetto, has plenty of room. Now he gives a backhand over to Andre Merard. And here's Benedetto, winds up, fires just wide of the glove of Maslow. It bounces off the boards and comes out to Andre Merard. Merard to Benedetto. One-timer from the near side from Corbett, and the save was made by Frank Maslow. 8:25 left here in the first period. It's a 4-1 lead for Alabama with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left on the major penalty.
They've given that goal to Ian Soifer there. At least that's the way they announced it. I thought that was a clear tip there from Buterak, so I believe that'll be changed. We'll have to see.
And here we go. Alabama back working the man advantage to the near side, and Collins will play. Collins holding on to it in the corner as he looks to give to Dylan Teed. Dylan Teed back to Jake Collins. Collins to Teed, and they play catch. along the near side, out in front, and it's in the glove of Maslow as Alabama had a man out front whacking at it, and that was Jerry Jordan trying to score another goal in this series, and that would have given Alabama a 5-1 lead. Right now it remains 4-1, 8:05 left to go here in the period. Alabama wins the faceoff. The defenseman Benedetto plays to his D partner Corbett. Charlie Corbett, who scored the first goal for Alabama, scores another one. What a slap shot there from Corbett. 5-1, and Alabama has scored yet another power play goal.
Another great shot there from Charlie Corbett. Again, stepping in, coming to his right, getting that open lane, and just firing a really hard slap shot there. Jerry Jordan does a great job of screening Frank Maslow there. I don't know if he ever saw that puck. Alabama, this is exactly what they need to do on this 5-minute penalty. Put them away early.
Absolutely. So we will see the face-off here at center, and Alabama is doing a phenomenal job here up by a man, really making Auburn pay for that 5-minute slashing penalty that was taken by Mark Feeney. We're back underway. It's DeLees. He centers in front of the goal as Buterak was looking for another one after already picking up his first of his career. It goes to John Lavorne. Far side shot, and Dane Santa blasted it, and then he was run into, but Maslow made the save.
Dane Santa took a big hit there from Andrew Inches, who we've seen deliver some crushing hits this weekend, but does a good job getting that shot off and putting the puck on net.
And we're back underway with 7.5 now left in this period. Alabama with all kinds of offense. We're going to have a call here as Ferrari had possession of it, and the referee blows it dead, and it looks like the net came loose. And so really, as the referee tries to put it back on the pegs and keep it still, it didn't look like it actually moved that much. But we'll have a stoppage here with 7:26 left in this period. 92 seconds left to go on the power play.
And on that last goal, they've given it to James Benedetto, who was Charlie Corbett's D partner, but was nowhere near the net, so there's no type of tip there. That should have been Charlie Corbett's goal.
And we'll see if they continue to leave it as that, but we'll have a discussion here with the scorers if we can during the intermission and get things sorted out. There's been a lot of goals to tally here in this period, and Alabama fires off the back of the net as Dane Santa was looking for another one. 1:08 left to go on the power play. It's Mike DeLees, high side. Now he gives backhand to Rob Ferrari. Ferrari out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, holding on to it. 1 minute left to go on the power play. Gives to Dane Santa near side, back to Ferrari. Slap shot on the way, tipped just wide by Buterak. And it goes to Santa off the backhand, moves it, goals open, far side, and Lavorne's denied at the last second, and Auburn clears it down the ice. 6:38 left to go here in this first period, and Frank Maslow was bent over after that save. You can see that he's in pain. We picked up on this last night. I'm not sure if he's just completely exhausted or he does have some type of injury that's bothering him, but you have to feel for him going out there and playing 3 consecutive games this weekend. And here's a turnover, and the Auburn Tigers could have had a 2-on-1 there, but electing to get the puck deep was Braden Pichel.
Rob Ferrari's trying to do too much by himself here. There's a couple times he's had open men. He's tried to dangle around 3 or 4 people, turns the puck over, and doesn't get an opportunity for his team.
Here's Zach Rude with it for Alabama. He's tripped up blatantly, no call there, and the Tigers will take it out of the defensive zone. At center, it's played by Adam Carlson. He breaks in, holding, and the save was made by Sam Schilling. As the power play is over for Alabama, a delayed call is on the way, and now the Tigers will have a chance with the man advantage. 5:46 left to go in the first period.
I didn't see what happened there. It's going to be a hooking call on number 2, Charlie Corbett for Alabama. So right as that 5-minute penalty expires, Alabama now has to go on the penalty kill, but as we've seen this weekend, that might not be the worst thing in the world for Alabama.
Absolutely. They had 3 shorthanded goals on Friday night, and they had 1 last night, so 4 on the weekend. And for most teams at this level, I think you do good if you get 4 all season long, but they've been able to compile that over the last couple of games. And Alabama's on this penalty kill now, 1:47 left to go. 5.5 left in the period. 5-1 is the advantage for Alabama here at home, playing in their 17th game against the Auburn Tigers, and they are trying to go to 17-0. behind the goal of Sam Schilling. To the near side, Alabama has the clearing attempt, and they send it down the ice. Play by the goal stick here of Frank Maslow. Out to center now. Auburn carries it onside. It's inches to the near side. Fires just wide of the goal as it pinged off the glass. And now will come all the way out to center as Auburn has to retreat as they are offside. On the power play, though, Inches will fire again. Sam Schilling makes a good save from the blue line. And Benedetto has it in the defensive zone. He fires to Dylan Teed off the edge of his stick with 4:40 left to go in the period. But Teed gets his own rebound off the wall as he beat the Auburn player to it. Now it's Jake Collins behind the goal, but he is outnumbered heavily as Mark Feeney's down there for Auburn. And it was Feeney's penalty that allowed Alabama to score so many goals. And now John Lavorne will take it after the shot was blocked from DeLees on the far side. And it's going to be controlled by Dylan Teed. To Lavorne, to DeLees, who shoots. Save made by Frank Maslow. Teed's there for the rebound, and it is blocked by Will Rodell. The Auburn Tigers will look to clear now out of the zone. Picked off, though, by Collins. Collins fires a quick shot wide of Maslow. Only 18 seconds left on the penalty kill, and a shorthanded goal scored here from Alabama. What a shot there, and it's going to be a 6-1 lead.
John Lavorne just steps in out of the neutral zone, fires an absolute rocket over the left shoulder of Frank Maslow. It looks like Frank Maslow is actually going to come out of the game now. He's been clearly shaken up yesterday and today. So number 2, Michael Hughes, will enter competition for the first time this weekend.
So here is Michael Hughes. And Eric, you certainly feel for Frank Maslow. He just could not keep it together. And I've never seen Michael Hughes play, but you would have to assume that because Mitch Kessner is injured and Frank Maslow has played so many minutes in this game, despite Auburn being blown out, I think that message can be read that Marcel Richard and the coaching staff for the Auburn Tigers are not very confident in Michael Hughes' abilities because they've left him over there on the bench all weekend long with plenty of opportunities to play. Sam Schilling makes a save here as Auburn quickly broke it over the blue line, and we're back underway, and Hughes will make a stop from the opposite red line. 3:48 left to go in the first period, and Alabama will play to the near side. Here's Dane Santa. He's shoved into the corner by Chris Hickley, and we're back to even strength. Alabama is up by 5 goals. If you're just joining us, the Auburn Tigers scored on their first shot of the game and took a 1-0 lead over Alabama. And Eric will have to dig through the history books, but from the time that we've been here, the past 4 seasons, I don't think Auburn has ever had the lead over Alabama at any point to my recollection. But certainly have not been able to finish a game against Alabama. They've come close a couple of times. They have a 2-goal loss and a 3-goal loss. But the majority of the other ones have been pretty bad, as Hughes will now make a save, and that was against John Lavorne, one of the best shots out on the ice. And so after Lavorne scores that pretty goal, Hughes steps up and makes a nice save there to give his teammates some confidence in him with 3:09 left to go in our opening period.
Yeah, Michael Hughes just reaches down with the glove. It was kind of a low shot. Didn't go down to save it with his pad. Instead, just stuck his glove down there and made the save.
Rude centers for Alabama, and Buterak was on the doorstep. Zach Rude has never scored a goal in his Alabama career, just the freshman, as Buterak, the senior, got his first goal earlier in this period. Buterak with a poke check, nothing doing there, though, as it's out to center, and it's played by Alabama's Charlie Corbett. Corbett cycles over the blue line to Zach Rude. He lost it off the edge of his stick, and Alabama has to retreat back to center. Corbett plays it forward. He tried to set up Rude once more, and now Auburn will take full possession in the defensive zone. Andrew Inches fires down the ice, and this will be icing against Auburn. So the faceoff will come all the way down to our left. We have another break in the action with 2:33 left here in our first period. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you for the 3rd consecutive day. Thanks a lot for joining us here, as it's been an exciting weekend of hockey, and Alabama is on their way to sweeping Auburn yet again. And off the face-off, it's played by Corbett, shot wide of the goal, and it's now picked up by Charlie Stejskal on the far side, centered in front of the goal dangerously there, as Auburn almost couldn't get it cleared, and Alabama has a man down in the defensive zone here, and it is Halen Buterak, and he's slow to get up. 2:16 left. We're going to have a stoppage, and the referee's going to have to come out and check on Halen Buterak. And you really do hate to see this because he has worked so hard this season. He tried out for this team in previous years and did not make the squad. And so he's finally been able to crack the roster this season in his last year of eligibility and has really been a great teammate to everyone. He's done everything that they've asked him to do, although he is significantly older than all the players on the team. Still understanding that he is a rookie, and he's not had any pushback about any of the rookie duties, and he always helps to clean up and things like that. So, again, it was a nice moment earlier in this period to see him score his first career goal, and that will never be able to be taken away from him. But he is down, and finally to his feet is Halen Buterak, the senior from Vancouver. And we see head trainer Jessica Frame out there for Alabama. This is a great sign as we see Buterak skating off, although it's not under his own power, but his teammates come out to help him. And that's nice to see. And he's going to be taken straight off the ice here, so he will not go to the bench. He's going to leave the game with 2:16 left to go in this first period. And, Eric, it does not look good, and we certainly wish him the best. But right now it does not look like he will return to this game.
And that's hard to watch because this guy, like you mentioned, has done everything the team has asked for. It was great to see him get his first goal this period. And he's a guy who's been struggling with injury ever since the Ohio weekend. And we saw him crack the lineup back this weekend, back from his injuries. And that's just hard to watch.
It is. And he took a vicious hit when we were up in Ohio and really struggled after that. And honestly did not think he was going to be able to play another game for Alabama in his career. And he was medically cleared this week, in fact. And thankfully, he was able to get out there and at least get a goal. And hopefully he's able to continue on this season. But, again, our best wishes to him. A save is made here by Maslow with 2:03 left to go in the first period. Alabama is still up 6-1. Dylan Teed will take the draw on the left wing side, as it looks like he'll try to shuffle it back here, but he could not win it to the forehand. It's taken by Jackson Regan from Birmingham. Along the far side of the building, Auburn has the clearing attempt on, played by Sonny McCrack, the goal scorer for Auburn from earlier in tonight's game. Shuffled along the near side now as Alabama picks it up along the lower portion of the boards and will now play out to center. 1 minute and 38 seconds left to go in the first period. It's fired by Frank Maslow, but for Alabama, doesn't go in the back of the goal, just rings around the board, and now will come to the near side. And Matt Carrack plays off the backhand to center. So it drifts slowly down the ice. The freshman from Kings Park, New York, James Benedetto, will shoot it to Rob Ferrari. Rob Ferrari has it go off the edge of his stick. Down the ice it comes, and Michael Hughes is there. I think I misspoke and said Maslow had made the save earlier, but Hughes is in the game for the Auburn Tigers, the backup goaltender this weekend. We understand that they do have 3 on their roster, and Mitch Kessner, who we've seen before in the Iron Cup, is dealing with a bit of an injury. As Collins now breaks down the far side, and a save is made by Michael Hughes. 1 minute left to go in the first period. Alabama still pressing here in the offensive zone. 5-goal lead as the clock continues to wind down. And unless something incredible happens, Alabama will celebrate their 17th victory over Auburn at the end of the afternoon. And we hope that you will join us for the trophy celebration. We will have that live for you on our video broadcast. If you are listening on Spreaker, a reminder that a free video broadcast is available through our website, alabamahockeyclub.com. You can click on the broadcast tab at the top of the page and then click on the video link, and that will get you to the video broadcast. At the end of the game, we will go off the air on Spreaker, but we will stay on the air for the video broadcast so folks watching can feel like they have taken part in the celebration. So we hope that you will, again, stay with us, and we will try to get you the celebration and the pictures and all that will go on after tonight's game, because that is a very special thing. And thankfully, Alabama has been able to do it every time that they faced Auburn in a series, because they are the only team that has ever won the Iron Cup. Only 5 seconds left. Alabama fires it down the ice. Michael Hughes comes out. There will be no play, and that will do it for the first period. As Griffin Butler tried to steal there at the horn, but again, it would not have counted anyway. Never made it to goaltender Hughes. But a nice round of applause here from the fans at the Pelham Civic Complex. The official attendance announced last night was just over 3,300. So a very nice crowd that packed in here last night. The crowd has dipped down on this Sunday afternoon. Usually Alabama plays in the fall and on Saturdays, and they have to compete with college football. But I think in today's case, they may be competing a little bit with NFL football as we have the two championship games today, the AFC championship game and the NFC championship game. But again, if you're watching live online, we really do appreciate all the support, and thanks for joining us. After 20 minutes, it is Alabama 6 and Auburn 1. Eric, we actually saw a lot of different storylines, I think, play out in that first period. If you look at the scoreboard and say, hey, well, you know, Alabama's winning again by a big margin, but I don't think that tells the entire story. We saw a senior and Halen Buterak score his first career goal and then take a brief exit after he was injured to our left. You also have the story of Sam Schilling, who only gave up one goal in that first frame, and it was on his first shot. And like you said it, I think just some early game jitters from him. He's been thinking about this start all season long, and then possibly, you know, when will he get to play? When will it be his game? And this afternoon is his game. So he's doing well for Alabama. He's keeping Auburn off the scoreboard, and that's all you can ask from the young freshman. We've also seen plenty of offense from Alabama, so it's a 20-minute period that's over, and 7 goals were scored. But even more than those 7 goals, there was plenty of storylines that played out, and a lot happened there in the first frame.
Yeah, there were a lot of different storylines. And Sam Schilling, like you said, settled in after that early goal. I think just early game jitters. So settled in, played well the rest of the period. And then Frank Maslow stood in there as long as he could for Auburn. But that Alabama 5-minute major and the injuries he was possibly battling through, exhaustion. I mean, he's played over 120 minutes this weekend, as you're looking at the replay of the Dane Santa goal there.
And there's the Halen Buterak goal as he got the tip, and that's a phenomenal moment for him. We certainly hope that he's all right. And during this break, we'll try to get a check on him and see his status and let you know if we can pass on any words. And here's another goal from the near side. Again, Alabama, with those 6 goals in the first period, really played well, and they're on their way to another Iron Cup victory. So we'll take a break. I will run down to the home locker room and try to get some status updates on number 61, Halen Buterak. But after 20 minutes, it's Alabama 6 and Auburn 1. You're watching the Iron Cup live on AlabamaHockeyClub.com. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson will step aside for our first intermission break and be back for the call of the second period. Well, hello and welcome back inside the Pelham Civic Complex in Pelham, Alabama. This is Kendall Grayson, play-by-play voice for Alabama Hockey, joined as always by our color analyst Eric Evenson. And through 20 minutes, we have 7 goals on the board, 6 of them for Alabama, and 1, the first goal of the game, for the Auburn Tigers. Charlie Corbett has scored 2 this evening. Andre Merard has a goal. John Lavorne with 1, Dane Santa with 1, and they have corrected the brief scoring error and have correctly given Halen Buterak his first goal of his career. And by the way, I was able to speak with head trainer Jessica Frame in the locker room, and the best news that we've heard maybe all weekend, that Halen Buterak is probable to return to this game, and that's certainly great to see, to hear, and would be awesome to see because he was very shaken up, as you could, I'm sure, infer from what you saw there on your screen. So it looks like he is possible to return, in fact, probable to return, so that's great news. So that's the scoring rundown for Alabama. 1 goal was scored by Sonny McCarrack for the Auburn Tigers. A quick look at the NHL scoreboard. Only 1 game currently in action, and there's no score after 1 between the New York Rangers and the Ottawa Senators. Games later on tonight, 5 p.m. Central Time, the Calgary Flames will visit Raleigh, North Carolina, and take on the Carolina Hurricanes. The St. Louis Blues will be in Chicago at 6 p.m., and that game can be seen on NBC. And then the Kings will face off against the Sharks at 9 p.m. Central Time this evening. One game that was scheduled to go today has been postponed, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals, due to the blizzard conditions in the Northeast and the massive amounts of snow that has been dumped on that area of the country. So the teams will very soon be back on the ice. And for Alabama, they have to continue to stay aggressive, play their style of game, and it really shouldn't be too much to sweat if you're an Alabama fan if they can put together a good second 20 minutes in this game. There have been 3 goalies in this game. The one for Alabama is Sam Schilling. He is a freshman. And for those of you who may have listened to our broadcast throughout the season, the only other time that he has played in a game was when Alabama defeated the Point Mallard Ducks, a junior team in Decatur, Alabama, back in the fall. This is the first collegiate action that Sam Schilling has seen, and he's done a good job so far for Alabama. For the 3rd consecutive day, Frank Maslow got the start for the Auburn Tigers, and we could tell last night that he was hampered by something. I'm not sure if it's just pure exhaustion or if he does have an injury that he was playing through. You do have to feel bad for him because he's really been hung out to dry all 3 games. But in that first period, he was replaced by Michael Hughes, and he will be the goaltender, we do believe, that will start the second period for Auburn. And Hughes gave up some goals, but made some decent saves and has kept his team, I wouldn't say in the game necessarily, because right now it's a 5-goal advantage for Alabama, but the game is not out of control right now. The scoreboard is not ugly, and Hughes will lead his team back onto the ice. Auburn takes the ice to our left. Alabama has already returned, and they, of course, enter and exit through the gate to our right and then go underneath the stands to the beautiful home locker room that Alabama calls their own. Sam Schilling stretching in the defensive zone in between the 2 posts under the crossbar. And we can tell you that we gave you the injury update with Halen Buterak. We'll see if he does return to this game. However, Auburn's goaltender Frank Maslow is not on the ice at all, so he has not even come out to the bench. We certainly hope everything's all right with him and wish him well. But right now, only 1 goalie for Auburn, and he's the man in between the pipes. It's Michael Hughes. We understood that coming into the weekend that Auburn's goaltender Mitch Kessner was dealing with a bit of an injury, and we've not seen him in any shape or form here in Pelham, at least on the ice or on the bench. So Auburn struggling with some depth issues, and Alabama's had some depth issues of their own this season. But right now, Alabama 40 minutes away from a sweep of the Auburn Tigers and another Iron Cup win. The face-off at center ice to start the second period, and we're underway in Pelham. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you. We hope that you will enjoy this second period of action here at the Pelham Civic Complex. We're now 10 seconds in as Collins moves it over the blue line into the offensive zone. It's picked up and controlled by Will Rodell. He fired it behind Michael Hughes, and it goes to the far side corner. Now behind the goal, as Alabama is going to hack at it a couple times, it's Jake Collins. He loses it just off the edge of his stick, and it's slapped hard along the near boards. Out to center, and it will be offside at the blue line as Auburn briefly touched the puck. 19:32 left to go in our game, for the second period. But in this game, Alabama scored 6 goals in the first period, and we'll see if they can continue to be aggressive. They've scored 9 Friday night. They scored 9 last night. We'll see if they try to eclipse that margin. But right now, they are well on the way to a victory on this Sunday afternoon. We're back underway as Mark Feeney plays it behind his goaltender, Hughes. He's looking to move it out of the defensive zone. He stepped right around Griffin Butler, and Feeney plays to center. Along the red line, over the blue line now, and is taken aside by John Lavorne. Here's Alabama. It's going to be a rush and a 2-on-1. Here they come, over the blue line. Shot, save made by Hughes directly into the glove as Butler had it and did not give it to Ferrari, who was open along the near side, and those two will chat about that. They tap each other on the shoulder pads, and we'll continue to talk about that break, but Butler thought he could score to the near side, and Michael Hughes took the play away with his glove.
Good for Griffin Butler. Go get your first goal out there.
And we've already seen one of those this afternoon. And we talked about this earlier in the broadcast last night and Friday night, that there would be some younger players playing in this game. And we would see if some players who usually didn't get ice time would get ice time. We've seen that this weekend, so a lot of players stepping up for Alabama. Out in front of the goal is number 61, Halen Buterak. He is back out on the ice for Alabama after being shaken up near the conclusion of the first period. Buterak goes hacking at it in behind the goal. It goes to Ferrari along the far side, and Auburn will try to chase it down. It's pinned along the far side wall by Adam Carlson with 18:24 left to go here in the second period. In the corner, played by Andrew Inches. Inches along the near board to Evan Barber, and it's turned over. Ferrari with a backhander, and it's shut down by Michael Hughes. 18-17 left to go in the second period. It remains a 5-goal advantage. Alabama 6, Auburn 1.
A couple of really good chances there from that line of Griffin Butler, Halen Buterak, and Rob Ferrari almost created a goal there. And Michael Hughes is playing well so far.
He is. He's looked good, and he's certainly fresh, not having much time at all here this weekend, other than being the backup goaltender. Here's a quick shot. Merard has it in front of the goal. It's denied, though, as Zach Rude tried to throw one on goal, and the save was made. Out to center, around Benedetto. No, he's able to catch up to it and make the play now for Alabama. It comes into the offensive zone. No one there for the team in crimson. It's played by Joe Richard at center, just by Rude. Now it comes back to Andrew Inches. Inches is onside. He lets it go. Save made by Schilling, and he falls on the rebound and is able to get the whistle. His mask pops off his head, and he'll look to strap that back on with 17:49 left to go in the second period as we have another break in the action.
Good save there from Sam Schilling. Andrew Inches has shown he has a hard shot. He has 2 goals this weekend, I believe, and catches Schilling kind of in a weird spot there, right off the shoulder, but he's able to corral the rebound, and it looks like he has a little bit of a equipment malfunction right now that looks to be fixed.
Yep, so we will continue on here pretty quickly. The freshman from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Auburn wins the faceoff, and they will have it along the near side. It's Armin Guiro, but it's turned over and shot down the ice here by Alabama. Probably would have been icing, and now it is icing. It looked like Michael Hughes wanted to come out and play the puck, but the referees will chat about it, and I think this faceoff should be moved to center, although it doesn't look like it with 17:41 left in the period.
The goalie is not allowed to come out of his crease. If he does, it waves off the icing. Michael Hughes didn't come very far out of his crease, but he was out of his crease, so technically it should have been called no icing, and the faceoff should be at center ice.
So it's a break for the Tigers, but it works out for Alabama because they cannot control the blue line as Zach Rude muscles Armin Guiro off the puck. 17:30 left to go in the second period. Along the near side, Alabama looking to take possession, but it's Guiro who shoots it forward. James Benedetto as he drops it back to Andre Merard. Out to center, Jerry Jordan almost had a 2-on-2 chance, and now Benedetto has it. He feeds Zach Rude, who loses it through the skates, and it goes into the corner with 17:13 left to go here in this second period. Top of the circle, far side, it's Merard with it. Holding on to it to Rude, and it just drifts off of his stick, and he couldn't hold it and take the shot. Now to the far side, Alabama pressuring in the offensive zone, but Guiro will fire, and it's not out. Still in the defensive zone now. To the red line. 16:50 left to go in the second. Picked off by the Tigers, and off the backhand, it shot into the offensive zone where Sam Schilling makes the save, and he turns it aside. Sam Schilling has not seen much action in this game, as for the third game in a row, Auburn has really been limited with shots in the offensive zone. 2-on-2 break now for the Tigers. It's Adam Carlson, fires. It's deflected out of play as it goes into the netting with 16:29 left to play in our second period. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you as always. We'll be right back here next weekend when Alabama renews their rivalry with Ole Miss, a team that defeated Alabama last season. Both of those teams went to the national championship tournament at the ACHA Division III level. Since then, Alabama has elevated their status to ACHA Division I, and Ole Miss remains at ACHA Division III. 16:20 left to go in the period. In behind Sam Schilling as it's given to the near side. It hops the stick of Inches. Played by Inches as he's able to get back on it. So the junior from Boston, Massachusetts makes the play there. John Lavorne picks up the puck for Alabama in the defensive zone as he will leave it to Ian Seufer. Softly, Seufer gives to Santa. Santa's over the blue line as he steps around his man. He's lost the puck. He'll try to find it in the corner and win out the battle behind the goal. It's batted down by Dylan Teed, who's having a really nice series this weekend against Auburn. Dylan Teed, top of the circle, lets it fly, he scores! What a shot there from Dylan Teed.
What a shot. And Michael Hughes just didn't hold his post there enough. There was only a tiny gap there that Dylan Teed could fit that puck in, and he found it. So good shot there from Dylan Teed.
Tiny gap is a very accurate description. Did not look like he had much room at all on that, and I was very surprised to see it go in the back of the net. But with the shot that Dylan Teed has, and the freshman playing very well, not only in this series but this season, that's going to be his 5th goal of the weekend. And so Dylan Teed is probably the front runner right now for the MVP award for the Iron Cup series, and that's awarded after the game is over with. So that's another presentation to look forward to. Here's Sonny McCarrack bursting over the blue line, covered up by Sam Schilling as he came out of his crease and made the save. Our score is 7-1. Alabama with the lead, 15:22 left to play in this second period. And as I mentioned, the 2 home games against Ole Miss, the final 2 home games of this season, the 15-16 campaign, will be the following weekend when Alabama hosts the Naval Academy, an ACHA Division I team that Alabama will see for the first time. So those should be 2 very exciting games here in Pelham. And if you're in the area or want to come out and support this team, I know that they will appreciate a nice home crowd to play in front of for the final 4 games of the season. A nice crowd out to support them here on this Sunday afternoon. Nowhere near jam-packed like it was last night, but the home side stands are mostly full, and there's some folks sitting on the away side as well. So again, a very nice crowd for these players to play in front of, and it's the biggest crowds of the season, and that's one of the reasons that it makes this event so special, is because you, the fans, come out and support this program and support the Auburn Tigers as well. And I know it's one of the biggest crowds they play in front of all year long, and I know that they appreciate the support from the fans. Here's a break now for the Tigers. The shot deflected out of play as Michael Ritter from Plano, Texas, burst down the left wing side. 14 minutes and 37 seconds left to play here in the second period. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you for the broadcast. Our director, Julia Plungy, working the cameras, switching back and forth, all the graphics and replays that you see, and our camera operator, Emily Simbel, doing a great job this afternoon in Pelham. The near side corner, that's where the play will continue on after the face-off, and it's in the defensive zone, and now Alabama has it at the blue line. It's Buterak to Corbett. Far side, DeLees fires just wide of the goal with 14-18 left to go in the second period. Auburn is able to take advantage after that bounce off the wall. Moving through the defense is Joe Richard, but he lost the edge of the puck. Sam Schilling comes out from behind his goal and makes the play. Now Charlie Corbett to the near side. Nobody on Richard, fires, and the glove save was made by Sam Schilling. He turns him aside from just a few feet out. 14:03 left to go here in the second period, and that's the biggest save of the game for Sam Schilling.
Great save there from Sam Schilling, coming out of his net, cutting off that angle. He looked confident there. Something I didn't think he looked very confident early in the game, especially after that first goal, but now this period he looks confident. He's coming out, taking out off those angles, and Auburn has nothing to shoot at right now.
We're under 14 minutes to go now in the second period. Auburn has possession of the near side. It's Michael Ritter again. Ritter will move to McCarrack. Out in front, centering chance, save made by Sam Schilling. On the doorstep was Parker Brown from Birmingham, Alabama, and he was looking for his first goal of the series, but was denied by Eden Prairie, Minnesota's Sam Schilling. And we do not have a running shot clock here in the building, so we'll try to get you an update on the shots as soon as possible. But we'll try to let you know again what that looks like, and we'll let you know if we can get a detail from the scorers table beside of us. Here's Jerry Jordan off the backhand, shoots, and it just goes wide of Michael Hughes, the goaltender for the Auburn Tigers. As the puck now goes to the far side, as John Lavorne is looking for it in the offensive zone. And we'll try to get you a stat count at the end of the during the second intermission for the shots on goal. 13:10 left in the second period. As Alabama will look for it, it's Ian Soifer, cross ice feed to John Lavorne. Lavorne will whack it forward, but it's blocked. And Auburn will try to move it out of the defensive zone. It goes to Alabama's Andre Merard. Merard will fire here. It hits the glass, falls down. Jerry Jordan looking for it on the near side. It goes behind the goal. Ian Schleifer to Jordan out in front. Rude almost got his stick on it, and now it will come to the near side where there's a good collision, and Parker Brown will make the play behind the goal, but he cannot clear. Alabama's Lavorne holds the zone. Lavorne from Newtown, Connecticut, throws it behind the goal. Out in front, they score! Andre Merard lights the lamp. And with 12:34 left to go in the second period, Alabama now takes an 8-1 advantage. And we will wait for the announcement, but behind the goal was Zach Rude, who centered it to Merard. And I believe that should be his first point in his Alabama career.
That was a good centering pass there from Zach Rude. Right to Andre Merard, who fires it over the left shoulder there of Michael Hughes. Great to see Zach Rude with his first career point.
And so for Alabama, that was a Newtown, Connecticut connection over to Stamford, Connecticut, Zach Rude, back to Huntsville, Alabama's Merard, who fired it past Michael Hughes. 12:15 left here in the second frame. Out in front, another chance for Alabama, but it's blocked, and they'll have to try it again. Behind the goal is Collins. Collins sets it up for Teed, and there's going to be a delay call here, and it will go, I believe, against Auburn. A slashing motion is made. Sam Schilling was leaving his net, and I don't believe Auburn ever had possession of it, so it will go against Alabama. Dane Santa takes a seat in the penalty box. Sam Schilling thought to leave the goal early, and it was a bit confusing because Alabama had possession for 3 or 4 seconds before they blew the whistle. They finally do blow it dead. Alabama will have a man in the box. Auburn goes to the 5-on-4 man advantage, and the faceoff will be in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it was a weird exchange there because, like you said, the ref held his hand up there for 3 or 4 seconds, didn't call anything. And Alabama had the puck the whole time. Caused Sam Schilling to leave his net, and I didn't see what caused the penalty there, but it's going to be a slash on Dane Santa.
And it is announced as a slash. Here's Teed, short-handed for Alabama, now crossing over the blue line to Collins. He's open, has room, fires, and just goes wide. And Teed was taken down. I believe this will draw a penalty now against Auburn. We're going to have a scrum in the near side boards. And these two teams are going to get together and exchange pleasantries. Matt Carrack just threw a punch with his glove still on. And he's going to now go wailing on the Alabama man along the near side. And we'll try to get the number. And Matt Carrack was the man that blasted down Dylan Teed last night. And it looks like Corbett is the man who he was wailing on right there in the face mask. And Matt Carrack has to leave this game. The referees have got to understand that he has to leave this game. Last night it was a huge hit after the whistle that caused a big scrum, and now he just hit a defenseless player 3 or 4 times, and he takes his seat in the penalty box. The referees are going to have to get it together here if they're going to have any control over the rest of this game.
There's no excuse for Sonny Macrack to still be in this game. You set a precedent last night that when you throw a punch, no matter what the situation is, that you're out of this game. They set that precedent last night. Sonny Macrack threw some punches there. There's no excuse for him to still be in this game. You have to throw him out.
The referees are going to talk about it here at the scoring table, and we'll see if we get a call. We had that scrum last night, and 2 Alabama players were ejected, and there easily could have been 1 or 2 more for Auburn go, but nothing was called in terms of an ejection. There were just 10-minute misconducts that were given to the 2 Alabama players, so they were not suspended. It was not a game misconduct, just 10 minutes, and it was less than 10 minutes in the game, so that's why they left the ice. But the referees are going to talk about it. And again, with 1:40 left here on this penalty to Dane Santa, all this has gone on. We are at a stopping point with 11:43 left to go in this second period. Alabama has a 7-goal advantage.
And even though they only got 10-minute misconducts John Lavorne and Dylan Teed did last night, what Sonny Macrack just did was much more vicious and a lot more punches. And those last night, those were kind of just pushes and jabs. These were full-blown punches thrown by Sonny Macrack. So there's no excuse for him to still be in this hockey game.
And Charlie Corbett is wearing the full clear shield, so I'm sure it probably hurt Matt Carrack a lot more than Charlie Corbett. But again, anytime you're punching a defenseless player in the head, that's something that cannot be tolerated. And I'm not sure what's taking so long for the referees to figure this out. but he needs to leave this game. And, you know, if he doesn't and he stays in the game, I think you're going to see more of this in the third period when they finally let him out of the sin bin over there. And, again, this is a big stoppage, and we saw this last night. It was a big scrum to our left. This time it's a big scrum to our right in the offensive zone for Alabama. And they will continue to talk about this. We do see 2 players in the box for Auburn, 2 in the box for Alabama. Dane Santa took the penalty, so Auburn was on the man advantage. But again, we'll just have to wait and see what we get.
There's a 2-minute penalty up on the board right now to Andrew Inches, who was involved in that scrum. Still waiting to see what they do here with Sonny Makarack. But you'd have to think he's no longer going to be in this game.
Well, you'd have to assume so, Eric, but you just never know. Again, I mean, this is a long discussion here from the referees. I know they're trying to get this right. So we'll wait, and I'm sure this is just an issue with the the operator over there writing down all these penalties and making sure that everything is good. And Alabama will have a man ejected. It's going to be Charlie Corbett. And so that would certainly indicate that Sonny Makarack will also go off for the Auburn Tigers. And Charlie Corbett was involved in that scrum, and I'm not going to defend him and say, hey, he shouldn't be out of the game, because he was very much involved in what happened there. And now Makarack will go off. And there's a nice applause from the Alabama fans, and he will exit this game. And this is not really how he wanted to end his career in the Iron Cup, but he is a senior playing in his last game against Alabama for the Auburn Tigers, and he will head to the locker room. So also gone is Charlie Corbett. So Alabama is down another player. In terms of depth, they're already playing with a bit of a short roster. We can read you the full lineup. The first line for Alabama tonight on the left wing side is Halen Buterak, who already has a goal in tonight's game. He's centered by Griffin Butler, and Zach Rude is on the right. Line number 2, Dane Santa, Dylan Teed, and Jake Collins. The third forward line is Jerry Jordan, Andre Merard, and Rob Ferrari. The defense pairs tonight, it's Benedetto with Corbett, who's just left the game, Soifer and Lavorne, and Mike DeLees is the defenseman in the game. So Alabama is now down to 4 defensemen in the lineup, but because that John Lavorne is a normal forward, you've really only got 3 true defensemen that are still out there right now for Alabama. Now, luckily for them, they do have a 7-goal advantage, but we'll see how that plays out as the game progresses. Sam Schilling is your starting goaltender for Alabama. The backup for him is Jack Safford. The scratch players from the lineup tonight for Alabama, there's a lot of them. Sam Messina, Ryan Willock, John Moeller, Casey Donegan, Anthony Rores, Nick Price, Dan Nolte, Jack Rooney, John Grenier, Tommy Condon, all out of the lineup tonight for Alabama. So that's how it runs down, and we'll see how it plays out, because now Alabama only has 3 true defensemen back there on defense, so that's a storyline to keep our eye on. But, Eric, I think you've got an explanation for us here with 11:43 left to go here in the second period as the penalties have just been announced.
And once they figured it all out, the original penalty is on number 18, Andrew Inches, 2 minutes for interference. Dylan Teed gets 2 minutes for roughing because he was involved in that scrum. So Alabama will play 4 on 3, for a minute and 40 seconds. And then Sonny Makarack and Charlie Corbett both get a 5-minute game misconduct for fighting, which I understand calling that on Sonny Makarack, but I didn't see Charlie Corbett throw a single punch in there. I think he was more trying to get people out of that scrum. He kind of had Makarack around his helmet there, kind of in a headlock almost, just trying to pull him out of there, and then Sonny Makarack went after him and started throwing punches. But that's how the refs sorted out, and that will be what they call.
Yeah, Eric, I agree with you there on Corbett. It just looked like, honestly, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time and just was a product of what happened there. And this is almost like a halftime at this point. I mean, the crowd has really settled down after that. The referees have talked to both coaching staffs, have talked to the players. We saw an Auburn player just down here shooting the breeze with Sam Schilling for about 5 minutes, and he went back to his bench. So a bit of a break, a lot of discussion, but finally it looks like we're ready for hockey once more at the Pelham Civic Complex. Alabama will send their 3 skaters out. Auburn will be left with 4 after all of that happened on the opposite end of the building now to our right, but the face-off is to our left, and we'll see what Auburn can do here on the man advantage. Michael Ritter to take the face-off, and we're back underway with 11:40 left to go in the period. Alabama listed out of the zone, and Armin Guiro will have to chase after it at center. Guiro, the senior from Huntsville, Alabama, plays along the near side, right over the red line and over the blue line. Auburn has to wait, and now Ritter brings it onside. Back to Guiro. He's open. Tries to move around Ferrari. He's lost it off the forehand. Pass on the way. Save made by Sam Schilling with the slap shot coming from the far side of the building. 1:15 left on the sequence. Out in front of the goal again. Ritter has it on the forehand, looking to fire. He fires, and it's saved by Ian Seufer, who caught it with his skates. And so as that was kicked out of the dangerous area right there in the goalie crease, Alabama is able to send the puck down the ice. 11 minutes left to go here in the second period as Auburn carries it out of the defensive zone. The Tigers will have it at center, trying to score their second goal of the game. John Lavorne looking to chase it down in the corner, gives a rough ride to his man, steals the puck, and we'll see if he can clear now for Alabama, but he cannot do so. The Tigers will hold it in. It's Feeney. Feeney slap shot, toe save made by Sam Schilling, and it comes to the near side, play by Armin Guiro. Guiro back to an open Feeney. Feeney now fires, blocked by the lower body of Griffin Butler, and John Lavorne will come onto the puck and clear it down the ice. 27 seconds left on this sequence. 10:27 left to go now in the second period. In behind the goal for Auburn as they look to leave the zone here. They lay it just over the red line slowly. Onside, it's Chris Hickley. Hickley from Cornwall, Vermont, to the near side as he gives to Jackson Regan, who fires. Save made by Sam Schilling, who confidently directed that puck out of play and earned himself a stoppage with 10:10 left to go in the second period. Our score is Alabama 8, Auburn 1.
After all that's gone on in the last couple minutes, if you're Alabama and the Alabama coaching staff, you need to tell your players, let's just calm down, finish this game here, try not to get anybody else thrown out. Don't want anybody to get injured, suspended, because you have big games coming up against Ole Miss next week, so you need to keep your head and focus on the future.
That's a great point, and I think that message has to be given down there, Eric, because there are more games left on the season coming up for Alabama. And here's Collins now on a break as we are back to playing even strength. It's 4-on-4. Collins shoots and scores! Falling down, Jake Collins scores the goal. And that's a special one for number 8 in Crimson. 9-1, now the lead for Alabama.
What a great goal there from Jake Collins. Just puts it around his defender, goes and gets it, and then fires the puck low and hard in the bottom right side of the net. Pass and off balance. Michael Hughes, a great goal there from Jake Collins.
With 9:50 left here in the second period, Alabama has broken the game open. And it is an 8-goal advantage here. Another shot from Collins is turned aside with confidence by Michael Hughes as he caught that one with the blocker. Now Auburn with a break along the far side. It's Hickley going around Santa. He hooks him, and this is going to draw a penalty. Hickley touches it. Play continues on. And Dane Santa will take a 2-minute infraction. Shot save made up high by Sam Schilling. It hit him just below the mask, and he caught it and put the glove on it. But his team will again be shorthanded as Dane Santa goes off for a penalty.
A good penalty there, though, from Dane Santa. Number 10, Chris Hickley, was on a break there. Could have had a possible breakaway on Sam Schilling, so a good penalty to hook him. Wasn't able to get the shot off, send him to the power play where Alabama has really been good on the penalty kill all weekend.
The Tigers will have it here working the man advantage. The far side, it's Michael Ritter as he starts the power play for Auburn. Drop pass to Mark Feeney. Feeney fires, deflected wide of the goal. And although Schilling had to look for it through traffic, he saw it all the way. And it's cleared out by Zach Rude on the penalty kill here for Alabama, all the way down the ice with 1:35 left to go on the sequence. It's picked up by Mark Feeney behind his goaltender Michael Hughes, the backup goaltender who came in to replace Frank Maslow. 8:49 left to go in this second period as the Tigers will bring it onside. To the near side, it's Michael Ritter. Ritter once more will try to work the puck. Alabama has a man go down the offensive zone. Jerry Jordan with a chip to center. He's racing into the offensive zone. It's going to be a one-on-one, and getting back there was Mark Feeney. He didn't touch it, but now Jerry Jordan is chopped down, and now we're going to have a scrum here in the high slot, and a couple players are going to get tied up from Alabama and Auburn. I believe that's Parker Brown as he's locked up with James Benedetto. And Benedetto goes off, or he's right in front of the bench. I don't think he wants to head to the penalty box unless someone tells him. But after Feeney chopped down Jordan after the play, Michael Ritter got tied up with Benedetto. And we're going to have more penalties with 8:32 left to go here in this second period. And if the fans got a taste of the physicality last night, they're getting the full menu today, and I hope that all of them are enjoying this show. As Eric said, certainly want to hope and make sure that everyone is okay and nobody's getting injured and nobody's getting suspended and things like that. But it is good to see the grit and tenacity from these two teams.
And right now, Parker Brown is in the box for Auburn. But I think they have to put Mark Feeney in there, too. He gave Jerry Jordan a couple of vicious cross checks down there when Jordan was on the ground. I don't know how you don't call a penalty there. And I didn't see what started the scrum between Brown and James Benedetto. Maybe Benedetto just going trying to help his player, Jerry Jordan. But a lot of physical, chippy play going on here. The fans love it. But like I said, if you're Alabama, keep your head. You have two big games against Ole Miss next week. You don't want anybody suspended or hurt for those games.
And you can play chippy and you can defend your teammates without doing anything
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
that. So that's probably what they will try to accomplish here in this second period. Again, we're just over the halfway point. We're looking at 8:32 on the clock, and that's what's left to go in our second period. So we're going to have a lot more of this to come, I'm afraid, in the third, as Auburn has already had a player ejected. Alabama has had a player ejected. We saw two ejected in last night's game. Both happened to be for Alabama, but there could have been more ejections and a couple for Auburn. So I can tell you that both of these teams are playing with a short roster right now, and I don't think either one of them really wants to see the benches start to empty and players to start to leave this game. But the referees have to do what they got to do at this point. I mean, they do have to take control of the game, and if ejections are warranted, they certainly need to lay those down. Doesn't matter who's committing them. But this is just turning into a bit of a slow game here on this Sunday afternoon. There's still been a lot of action, and there's a lot of storylines. And honestly, Eric, if you're a fan, this might be the most intriguing game of the entire weekend. Yeah,
it is. But if you're the refs here, there wasn't much more than just a little bit of a scrum there. Throw them in the box for 2 minutes. Let's get on with the game here. There's not much to discuss here. None of that really required a major penalty or a double minor. Just give them 2 minutes for roughing, and let's get on with the game here.
And it looks like we are ready to get on with the game as head coach Mike Quenville is getting an explanation from a few members of our officiating staff this afternoon.
Right now there's only one player in the box for Auburn, and it's number 3, Michael Ritter, who I don't even know if Michael Ritter was involved in the play there. I thought it was Mark Feeney and Parker Brown from the numbers we picked up from up here. But it looks like that's all they're going to call.
Okay, so that's it. We'll see if Alabama can clear this defensive zone face-off and get the game back underway. Andre Morard will take the draw in the defensive zone for Alabama. And he will match up against number 8 in white, orange, and blue, and that's Adam Carlson, who's been one of the better players on the ice for the Tigers. And now we see Jason Briley go take a seat in the penalty box. And finally, we get some action as we're back underway this afternoon in Pelham. 8:20 left to go here in the second period. And Inches will he will fake his shot from the near side. Holds on to it, Andrew Inches, all the way to the far side. This creates room for Feeney. Slap shot save made by Schilling, comes off the back of the glass with an odd carom, but Schilling is able to swat it down to the ground, and we continue on, although Alabama is still on the penalty kill. Slap shot from the far side goes in the glove of Sam Schilling, and he has looked better and better as this game progresses. Makes a key save there with 7:58 left to go in the second period. Alabama is up 9-1.
On that scrum, they gave Michael Ritter and James Benedetto 2-minute roughing penalties and then 10-minute misconducts. So that's why there's multiple people sitting in the bench serving those 2-minute penalties.
And off the face-off, we have a stoppage, and it will be brought back into the defensive zone. So quickly, they'll reset and do it again. The three players out there on the penalty kill for Alabama, Andre Morard, Ian Soifer, and Mike DeLees. And for Auburn, taking the face-off is Adam Carlson. He'll try to find it. His teammate now plays to the far side in behind the goal, and Auburn will look to wrap it around the near side. Feeney's open. Slap shot, and he had a lot of power behind it, but Sam Schilling was able to keep it out of the back of the net. And this remains a 9-1 lead for Alabama. You'd have to believe that they're going to hit the double-digit mark at some point in this game. They've scored 9 goals on Friday night. They had 9 goals last night. So far, 9 goals this afternoon. And really, they've just been better than Auburn this weekend, and typically they are. They've been better than them 16 prior times, and it will be number 17 today when they pick up the victory later on this afternoon. And again, we hope that you will join us for our post-game coverage. We hope to have a live interview with head coach Mike Quenville after the game is over, and we hope that we can bring that to you from the ice. And then we will stay on the video broadcast and show you the images of Alabama after clinching the Iron Cup last night, as they will be presented the Iron Cup and will celebrate with it after today's game. With 7:08 left in the second period, Sam Schilling scoops a puck up into the glove. He gets a tap of the pads from his captain, Andre Morard, and Alabama will reset in the defensive zone, now with 4 players on the ice on the 4-on-4. There's 36 seconds left on 4-on-4, and Auburn loses the faceoff as Joe Richard from Rye, New Hampshire, went in to make the faceoff move there, but he could not bring it back to a teammate. 7 minutes left in the period. Here's Dylan Teed, has room, fires, and it goes off the glass and will fall down right in front of the Alabama bench. It's Mike DeLees who fires one wide now. That missed everything, and Alabama looks to collect. It's Dylan Teed. Trying to poke it away from Teed was Brandon Pichelle to the near side, and Alabama can hold it here on the blue line as DeLees gets over. He makes the play. Nice move by him, but now it's a one-on-one for Auburn. It's Pichelle on Lavorne. He walks around him. Backhand try, but it's up and off the glass, and Alabama will survive. We continue to play 4-on-4. Alabama has Rude come off the bench here. Here's Zach Rude on a breakaway. Backhand, and he scores! Zach Rude with his first career goal. He makes it a 10-1 lead for Alabama.
Great move there from Zach Rude, coming off the bench after the Benedetto penalty expired, and then just sends a backhand that Michael Hughes wasn't able to get down, and it went right through his legs. Good to see Zach Rude get his first goal.
So we've seen 2 first career goals today. Griffin Butler had an assist, I think, on an earlier goal. And so a lot of newcomers getting on the scoring sheet with 6:22 left to go in the second period. Good collision there at center. And excuse me, that was Rude who had an earlier assist for his first point. And so now he has a goal to go along with that assist. Alabama bursts over the blue line again, a shot, and Michael Hughes was there that time to make the save. And behind the goal of Hughes, Alabama with a 10-1 advantage. 5:55 left to go here in the second period as Mike DeLees will send it forward. Alabama's Rude from Stamford, Connecticut, scores on the backhand, and Alabama will increase their goal average all time against Auburn. It was 9 coming into this weekend. They scored 9 last night, 9 Friday night, but they've gone to 10 this afternoon, so that will continue to grow as the series progresses. Alabama will pick up their 17th victory over Auburn, and it will be Alabama's 11th victory of the season if they can hang on here with a 9-goal advantage with 5:15 left to go in the second period. Here's Griffin Butler in the corner. He sends it back to John Lavorne. Lavorne with a nice move to create some room. Now he gives to a wide open Ian Seufer. He rips it, and the save is made by Michael Hughes. 5:05 left to go here in the second period as we'll have another break in the action. Alabama 10 and Auburn 1. Alabama will set up along the left wing side. Dylan Teed will try to win the faceoff, but he's lost in the corner, and it goes in behind the goal. Backhand try by Teed is shut down, and Auburn tries to clear. Now Teed takes a run at Mark Feeney. Things start to get chippy again as Seufer gives a shove to Will Rodell. Alabama holding it onside. Jake Collins drops it back. And the shot from the far side, more of a pass from Merard, goes behind the goal to Dane Santa. He centers, no one there. Now Seufer the one-timer, and it falls down right on the goal line. And somehow Michael Hughes kept that out of the back of the goal. It looks like it hit his glove and dropped directly down. We could see it bouncing from here, and somehow that does not cross over the red line. The referee had a perfect view, and he will quickly get this game going again. 4:38 left to go here in the second period. But Michael Hughes with the save of the series so far, and unfortunately for him and Auburn, it's not going to make much of a difference. Dylan Teed is taken down behind the goal. Alabama plays on with it. Collins, one-timer now from the far side from Merard was blocked, and now Alabama has to get back, and they do. It's Ian Seufer, and Auburn crosses offside as the puck carrier Adam Carlson will throw on the brakes and slide to a halt. 4:17 left to go in the second period. It's a 10-1 advantage for Alabama.
With the absence of Charlie Corbett and James Benedetto being in the box right now serving a 10-minute misconduct, Coach Mike Quinville has moved Andre Merard back there to the defensive position, which we saw him play a lot of defense his freshman year as well as forward.
4:12 left here in the second period, and they're going to bring the faceoff out to center. It goes back into the defensive zone where it's played by Mike DeLees. We hope you're enjoying this student-run production as we're live inside the Pelham Civic Complex. I am Kendall Grayson alongside Eric Evenson, as we'll be back in action next weekend when Alabama hosts Ole Miss. Under 4 to go now in the period to the near side. Alabama will look for it along the blue line, and Zach Rude will play off the backhand. It goes in behind the goal of Michael Hughes. Armin Guiro is run into. He turns it over, and he actually is going to give it to his teammate on the far side, so Auburn is able to successfully clear the puck, as that was off the stick of Andrew Inches. Now it's Lavorne to Mike DeLees at the red line. DeLees fires in the offensive zone. It rolls in behind Michael Hughes. He looks on to the near side. Zach Rude takes a hit in the corner by Evan Barber. And Dylan Teed will give a shove to Guiro. This creates a turnover. Behind the goal it goes with 3:13 left to go in the second period. Chased down by Dylan Teed. He'll give to John Lavorne. He's open, slap shot on the way, blocked by the lower body of Jason Briley, and that stung him. He will continue on. Ian Seufer out in front. The shot could not be controlled by Hughes. He made the save and kept it out of the back of the goal, but probably should have had that rebound. Here's Lavorne. He fires off the glass as he missed everything. He had plenty of room, and I think we're going to have a penalty called here. Yes, indeed, a trip with 2:48 left to go in the second period. Alabama is up by 9 goals.
John Lavorne had a wide open net there from the top of the circles. Michael Hughes struggled to slide across and cover the majority of the net there, but John Lavorne just missed the net, and that penalty is going to be a trip on Zach Rude. So right after he gets his first goal, heads to the box for a penalty.
He's making sure he puts his name all over the score sheet tonight. He's got the assist, he's got the goal, and now the penalty. So here we go. As Rude is in the box, we'll see a face-off in the offensive zone for Auburn as the referee goes over and signals a trip to the scorekeeper, and it looks like maybe just some miscommunication there, not knowing what the call was. And as we've been talking about the referees and their slow pace in this game, I'm not sure they are completely to blame because it does look like that the referees are becoming a little bit frustrated with whoever is running the score table down there. Schilling with a save off the faceoff as Auburn ripped it from the near side off the stick of Feeney, and he keeps this a 10-1 game. That was just 4 seconds into the Zach Rude penalty.
I don't know how much of that puck Sam Schilling saw. It seemed like he got kind of caught off guard on that shot, was able to make a good glove save, and then corral the rebound.
Off the faceoff, shorthanded, it's Rob Ferrari for Alabama as he moves it into the offensive attacking end. 2.5 minutes now left to play in the second period. Out in front of the goal, they score! Shorthanded, it's Dylan Teed again for Alabama, and it's 11-1 now as another shorthanded goal goes home. And Eric, I believe that's now 5 on the weekend for Alabama.
I believe so too, and that's Dylan Teed's second goal of the game, 6th goal of the weekend. Just able to get the puck off the forecheck and then sends a backhand right through the legs of Michael Hughes. And it seems like a lot of the goals Alabama is scoring on Michael Hughes are down low, which I think is probably something they are focusing on right now, sending the puck low, hard, and at the net, and it's going to go in right now.
It is, and this is just the perfect storm for Alabama. But Jake Collins with a nice move as Buterak fires as he was looking for the second goal of his career, and it goes in the corner. But when Alabama's playing with this much confidence offensively, obviously very outmatched in terms of skill to Auburn's skill ability. The defensive lapses that we've seen from the Tigers, the goaltending issues, really everything's just rolling right now for Alabama. They lead by 10 goals. To the near side corner, it's played by Hickley. He fires, and the save is made by Alabama's Sam Schilling, the goaltender from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And this is the first game that he has started in his career in an ACHA game, and he's done a good job so far with now 1:45 left to go in what probably is the longest second period in the history of this building.
It really feels like it. And you said it, Sam Schilling has looked good tonight. After that first goal, he's really settled in. He looks confident in net. He's controlling his rebounds, cutting off the angles, just doing a great job out there.
Cycled off the far side wall as Auburn is still on the power play. Rude is in the box for Alabama. Schilling makes a save to the near side, and it will be played here by number 13, Braden Pichel from Birmingham. Far side, shot goes wide of Schilling, rebounds there, but Alabama's Lavorne is able to get back and make the play. Lavorne will try to give it to Santa on the clearing attempt. It's blocked in front of the goal there. Dangerous play as that was off the stick of Armin Giro, but Alabama is able to take it to the blue line. It's not out. It's turned over once more. Pichel is taken down by Lavorne, and this will draw a call to Lavorne. And a hook is signaled, and so now Alabama will be shorthanded 5-on-3 as the 22 seconds are still on the board for Zach Rude. And Eric, we mentioned things that could go wrong for Alabama in terms of injuries and ejections, but I think something that they need to control is their discipline. They're taking way too many penalties, and I know the game is well in reach, and they're going to win the Iron Cup. They're going to get their 17th consecutive victory, but going forward in this schedule they have in the second semester, they're going to need to limit the power play opportunities for the other team.
Yes, they are, and I mean some of these chances, like that hook right there from John Lavorne, are just defensive lapses that you have to take a penalty to try to save a goal there from going in. So it's just mistakes and lapses that are causing some of these penalties. And
Alabama is able to clear, so the 5-on-3 is over, and we have 42 seconds left here in the period. Auburn will play to center, left wing side. Looking for it is Barber. Barber has it, drops back to Hickley. Hickley looking to move it to Inches, picked off, and here's a 2-on-0 for Alabama in the offensive zone. It's Ferrari and Rude. Ferrari to Rude, he fires, and the save was made there by Michael Hughes. The rebound still out there, and Andrew Inches comes in to make the play for the Auburn Tigers, clearing with 15 seconds left to go in the period. And now Auburn with a brief rush. It's Giro who drops it back to Barber, and Ferrari's trying to take it away from him again. Going down to the near side was Rude. He pops back up. Only 3 seconds left. Ferrari absorbs a check, and down the ice it rolls. There's the horn, and we are through with this long second period. Alabama with an 11-1 advantage over the Auburn Tigers. They are 20 minutes away from winning their 17th consecutive game against Auburn, and yet another Iron Cup. And they've earned it. They've played very well. They have 20 minutes left And we'll see what type of third period we get after the chippiness really started up in this game in the early parts of the second period. It's died down just a little bit, but it's one hit away from coming back. And I think these two teams will need to control their emotions in the third period. And what I've been talking about all weekend, to not pay attention to the scoreboard. But I think in this situation, you're going to have to look up at the scoreboard and take a punch or two and just deal with it, because if we continue to have these big scrums, it's going to be a very long third period, and nobody wants to see it. They want to see a good hockey game, and hopefully the rough stuff dies down, because this game is certainly over. Alabama's up 10 as we head to our second intermission break.
And you said it, you're just going to have to take a punch and send them to the box, send them to the locker room. Just stand there, stand your ground, don't do anything, and you're going to stay in this hockey game, and you're going to be able to play next week against Ole Miss. That's a big thing. You don't want to do anything to get yourself suspended next week for Ole Miss. This game is out of hand, 11-1, and you just don't want to do anything to have a short bench. Alabama's had depth problems all year, and when you have multiple people suspended or injured, you have to play with about 14, 15 guys, which is not going to work against a team like Ole Miss. So just keep your cool, don't do anything, and just get out of this game.
Thanks for everyone for joining us this afternoon. It's been a fun one so far, and we hope that we can bring you another good 20 minutes of play between these two teams. Alabama is on top of Auburn 11-1. They've scored 11 consecutive goals. If you're just joining us, Auburn scored the first goal of this game. Sonny McCarrack got his name on the score sheet, and then he put it on the score sheet in a negative way as he was ejected from the game. Charlie Corbett has been tossed for Alabama. So we've had some physical altercations in the early parts of the game. But we continue on this afternoon from Pelham. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you, as it's been 40 minutes of solid play from Alabama, and we'll see if they can put together a solid final 20. 11-1 is the lead for Alabama after two periods. We'll take a 10-minute break and be back on the other side for the call of the third period as you're watching Alabama hockey live through alabamahockeyclub.com. So again, that's the update. And here in Pelham at the Pelham Civic Complex, the two teams have returned, and we are ready for the final 20 minutes of the 2016 Iron Cup Series between the visiting Auburn Tigers and the Alabama Frozen Tide. So here we go to start the third period, and it's underway. Alabama has Jerry Jordan play immediately off the faceoff. He gives to Andre Merard, who shoots it forward. Auburn has a man fall down here in the defensive zone, tripped over nothing, and he will now have to fill the lane and get up into the play. With 19:42 left to go in the third period, as Alabama will try to find it at center, but it's played by Adam Carlson. Over the blue line, Andrew Inch is open along the near side. This is exactly where he scored his goal in earlier this series. He fires it wide this time, and it comes to the far side where it's played by Auburn's Mark Feeney. Slap shot on the way, deflected with 19:20 left to go in the third period. Just 10 seconds left on the penalty kill for Alabama, and they are able to get the puck deep. Michael Hughes, the goaltender, comes out of his net, plays the puck, and Alabama has killed off the attack. John Lavorne will step from the penalty box over the bench, and he's replaced on the ice by Dane Santa. So we're back to 5-on-5. We've played 60 seconds here in the third period. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you for the call. Along the far side, it's picked up by Hudson, Ohio's Jake Collins, and the captain will leave it out to center for Dylan Teed. Should be a 2-on-1 that will develop now. It's Teed and Santa. Santa's open, near side, fire, scores! Dane Santa blasts one home, and with 18:44 left to go in the third period, Alabama tallies another one past Michael Hughes.
Great shot there from Dane Santa. Just the wide open left side of the net there. Dane Santa was able to rifle it into the net for his second goal of the game here.
Along the near side wall, we're back out to center where the play was chipped along the boards by Armin Guiro. It goes in the back of the Alabama zone in the far corner. And now behind the goal, it's John Lavorne, and it goes just past Jake Collins. So it's played at center by Auburn. Chris Hickley leaves it back for Guiro. Guiro will now survey over his options. He sends all the way down the ice would have been icing, but Sam Schilling, the freshman goaltender from Minnesota, plays the puck for Alabama. In behind the goal now, as the Tide look to leave the zone along the near side. It goes past Dane Santa, and now he will go off for a line change. Dylan Teed and Jake Collins out there for Alabama, along with John Lavorne. And back is Mike DeLees and Halen Buterak. Along the far side of the building, now back into the defensive zone. Auburn has Braden Pichelle down low with it, as well as Joe Richard from New Hampshire. So now in the corner, they throw it out. Quick shot, and a glove save made by Sam Schilling as he robbed Tyler Brinkman, who was looking to force that one into the back of the twine. 17:47 left to go in the third period. It's Alabama 12 and Auburn 1 goal.
A beauty of a save there from Sam Schilling, reaching out with the glove and corralling it. That net was wide open, just able to reach the glove out there and stab that puck out of the air. Great save there from Schilling.
Back underway. The faceoff is lifted down the ice. It's into the offensive zone for Alabama, but no one there for possession. Now Ferrari steals. He's open, fires, and he blasts it wide of the goal as Michael Hughes tried to stand tall there. And there's the shot. It goes wide of Hughes again, and he was leaning in the wrong direction. Almost got caught from the shot from center. 17-17 left to go in the third period. Down the ice is number 17, Mike DeLees, will play the puck here for Alabama. In the corner, looks to move it along the far side. He had Griffin Butler open to his left, but he gives to John Lavorne to his right. And Lavorne receives a pass from Ferrari. And we play on here now at center. Alabama will look for it. Halen Buterak overskated the puck. And this allows Alabama to roll line change because the puck did drift into the offensive zone. Now Auburn will fire one down the ice here wide of the goal of Sam Schilling. And he did not have to make the save. It bounced off the back of the wall behind the goal, and Schilling was able to leave it for the captain, Andre Merard. Merard fires it wide of Michael Hughes. Two teams looking to just dump the puck down the ice now, and they were probably a little upset about the pace of play in the second period, just as we thought that was an extremely long period. Looks like now they don't want any stoppages, and they just want to get out of here with the status quo of Alabama up 12-1. Jerry Jordan along the far side. He's lost it. It's picked up by Chris Hickley from Vermont. Hickley carries it over the right wing side. He was looking to hook up with his teammate Jason Briley, but he was unable to do so. So the Tigers now play back into the defensive zone. It's Armin Giros. He shoots to center, and it goes to Dylan Teed of Alabama. Teed gives back to Seufer. Off the stick of Merard. Briley shoots it forward, and it goes behind the goal, played by Sam Schilling. 15 minutes, 45 seconds left here in the third period. Down the ice it goes. It went by Zach Rude, so he could not play it offensively for Alabama. Now it's picked up by Jackson Regan. He shuffles it to Giro along the near side. Giro will fire it along the boards. It's not out. Here's Teed. Sets up his teammate Jerry Jordan, who blasts it, but it's blocked and now picked up and played by Briley. He clears out to center. It goes off the forehand of Jerry Jordan, and Jordan will go off for a line change. 15-17 left to go in the third period. Still a 12-1 lead for Alabama. Andre Merard's hooked a bit. Play continues on. He still has possession. Gives to Lavorne, fresh off the bench. Fires in front. Teed rips it. Save made by Hughes. It falls down. Auburn looks to clear, but it's not out. Kept in by Alabama's Teed. He gives to Rude off the backhand. The save is made by Hughes. He covers it up for the stoppage, and we will have a break with 14:55 left to go here in the third period as we're live this afternoon in Pelham, Alabama. 14 minutes, 55 seconds away from hoisting the Iron Cup once more here at Center Ice on the main arena.
Good chances there from that line of Rude, Teed, and Collins. Getting the puck to the net and getting bodies to the net, just weren't able to sneak it past Michael Hughes.
The plays along the near side. Ferrari drops it to Collins. He couldn't get his shot away as it was blocked. And now it comes to the near side, played by Brandon Pichelle. Pichelle from Birmingham, Alabama. The sophomore over the blue line. Drops it back to Mark Feeney. Feeney right wing side along the near side boards. Off the backhand. Controlled and played by Tyler Brinkman. Shot on the way, and it goes behind Sam Schilling. Behind the goal of Schilling, Mike DeLees plays the puck. Now gives to Collins, and Collins starts up his engine. 14-14 left in the game over the blue line, and Dane Santa entered the zone just a bit too early. And so the play will come back out to center as Alabama cannot enter the zone as they were offside on the play. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you for the broadcast. We'll be right back here next weekend when Alabama plays Ole Miss. Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll come on the air at 7:50 Central Time, and then 7 o'clock the start time for Saturday's contest against the Rebels, and we'll be on the air 10 minutes before the advertised start time of 7. At center, carried over the blue line by Michael Ritter. A quick shot, save made by Sam Schilling, and he has to be a little bit dazed because he's not seen very many shots, and that's got to be an odd feeling for him, being so excited to play in his first game as a college hockey player, but he's not been tested very often. And so, again, it does have to be a bit odd because he's sitting down there, technically standing, I guess, but he's watching the play out in front of him, and every now and again he has to get excited and say, okay, well, here comes a shot. But Auburn has really struggled to throw anything on net in this game, and that's been their demise this weekend. Alabama, the Division I team, is much more powerful than this ACHA Division III program, and they're showing it here at center ice. These two teams went at it 14 times before Alabama elevated to ACHA Division I. This is the first series since that has happened, and that was this past spring, and Alabama really just picking up where they left off last season with dominating performances over Auburn this weekend. Mike DeLees, the defenseman, carries over the blue line, looks to walk around everybody, held in by Butler. He fires in the catching glove of Michael Hughes. He gives it a squeeze, and the referee blows the whistle. 13:06 left to go in the third period. It's an 11-goal advantage for Alabama.
Griffin Butler still looking for his first goal here. Out now with Halen Buterak and Jerry Jordan. A good shot there, but the Auburn defender was just able to get a stick on it.
We're back underway as Benedetto fires it out in front, centered for Butler, but he couldn't get a stick on it, and Auburn will leave the zone. Chipped high in the air by Tyler Brinkman, wearing number 44. Here's a shot, and it's deflected wide of Sam Schilling behind the goal as he got a piece of it. Held in, though, by the Tigers. Inches lets it go, and the save is made by Sam Schilling. He kicked it out with the right pad. And Inches this time could not keep the blue line, and so the Tigers have to retreat, and they do. 12:30 left to go here in this game as Ian Seufer plays in the defensive zone. Seufer, the sophomore from Frederick, Maryland, slides it to Halen Buterak from Vancouver. There's a huge hit at center. Mark Feeney just leveled an Alabama player. No whistle, and this is Griffin Butler who's down at center. And he rolls back up and will sit up, but he got hit hard here right over the red line. And although it was a bit high, you have to understand that every hit is going to be high when you're as small as Griffin Butler is. And Eric, although it was a big hit, I'm not sure that it was anything dirty or anything like that. It looks like that Griffin Butler just got lit up there by Feeney, and he is noticeably struggling there, but he is able to go to the bench without much aid, so that's great to see there from 15 Griffin Butler.
That is good to see. And Mark Feeney, that was a big hit. It was a little bit high. I think he kind of extended with his arms a little bit. For Alabama, I know you're up 12-1, but Mark Feeney's had a number of questionable hits, questionably dirty plays in this series. Somebody's going to have to tell him, you're not going to do this to our guys, even if there is only 12 minutes left in the game.
I agree with that, and Rude just fired one into the glove of Michael Hughes, so we have a stoppage with 12:01 left to go in the third period. I was surprised that nobody came in to Griffin Butler's aid there.
I was really surprised about that.
Even though it was a legal hit, the referee called it like it should. He did not give a penalty, and it was a bit high, like you said, but I think for Alabama, the concern from my perspective, we're going to see another goal from Zach Rude as he tallies another one. Nice setup play, and Rude will score his second career goal for Alabama. But Eric, as we're talking about there, I was just a bit surprised to not see anyone come to the aid of Griffin Butler. And like you said, you're going to have to establish that Mark Feeney cannot lay hits on your teammates like that. And we talked about nobody needs to be injured going forward for Alabama. And Butler's a small player, and we certainly hope he's all right.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you see that all the time, players protecting their teammates, especially the smaller kids that tend to be the brunt of those hits all the time. So I'm really surprised somebody didn't come protect
A goal out in front here. I believe Zach Rude will have it. And no, they're going to give this one to Dylan Teed. As I saw the bottle jump around there. A hat is on the ice, by the way. And that is because Dylan Teed has scored a hat trick. And Zach Rude has two. He was looking for a third, but Dylan Teed has scored a hat trick in tonight's game. And as we continue to keep track of all that's happened here offensively in this series, we're going to see a presentation after the game of the MVP award. And right now, my vote would go to number 11, Dylan Teed.
My vote would go to him, too. A huge night tonight. 3 goals and 4 assists in this game. 7-point game here for Dylan Teed. He's up to 14 points on the weekend. Jake Collins is up to 12. Andre Merard at 10. So Dylan Teed right now making a statement. Seems like he really wants that MVP trophy.
Yeah, he does. And it's not just the goals for me, as Jordan's going to make a nice move here. Alabama's up 14-1 with 11:07 left to go in the third period. But for me, it was the play from him on Friday night when in the first period, it really felt like Alabama's players, it almost looked like they didn't want to be here. I mean, they were very flat, and the crowd was very flat because they were flat. Alabama was not giving them much reason to cheer. Now, yes, they scored 6 goals in that period, but you have to understand Alabama was not playing very good hockey. Auburn was not playing very good hockey at that time, and Dylan Teed was, in our opinion on the broadcast, one of the only players, if not the only player, who on Friday night came out and really established his game early on and made himself known throughout the weekend. Now, he's continued to have much success, and that's great to see from the freshman Teed. But for me, it's the things that he's done, not necessarily to put himself on the score sheet, but he's a great player, he's a good teammate, and he has a hat trick in tonight's game. And we're back underway with 10:55 left.
And Dylan Teed's done everything very well this series. He's brought energy, he's brought goals, assists, and he's also protected his teammates, played physical. He's been in a number of those scrums trying to tell the Auburn players, you're not going to take liberties on my teammates. So I really love just the all-around game from Dylan Teed this weekend.
Auburn's going to have a chance out in front, and the shot goes wide of Sam Schilling. 10.5 left to go in the third period. And anything that happens at this point is just going to be arbitrary. Alabama will win the Iron Cup this afternoon. They clinched it last night, but they will perform the sweep on Auburn. In just a few minutes, it will be official, and the fans who have stuck around here on this Sunday afternoon will be rewarded by seeing the Alabama Frozen Tide, the home team, hoist the Iron Cup and celebrate a very good weekend. It rolls out in front of the goal, and out to center it goes. Andre Merard checks his man down to the ice. Adam Carlson. Andre Merard moves it. Carlson retaliates with a little bump from behind, and again, not really any dirty play there, just two players going hard at each other. Merard gives a chip to Santa. He's in. He's all alone out in front. Backhand, forehand, backhand, scores! Dane Santa with a hat trick. It's goals for everyone. 15-1, the lead for Alabama.
And I believe that is Dane Santa's first career hat trick for Alabama. Great to see. Dane Santa, another player that a great teammate. He plays physical. He plays hard. He always brings energy, and tonight he's bringing the goals. So great to see the 3 goals here from Dane Santa.
Very nice move there on the breakaway as well, as he was able to fool the Auburn goaltender Michael Hughes, who has just had a bit of a rough afternoon. And the starting goaltender, Frank Maslow, was pulled. And he started Friday night, he started last night, and he started tonight's game, but I think last night we could pick up that he was playing through a bit of an injury. He's got to be exhausted as well, as we're going to have a shot saved here by Sam Schilling as it came down the ice to our right, and he blockered it to the far side of the building. 19:08 left to go here in the third period, and Alabama has a 15-1 advantage over the Auburn Tigers, playing in the third and final game of the weekend. And Alabama's going to go to 17-0 against Auburn, a really nice feat. And Mike Quinville will pick up all 17 of those victories. And speaking of Alabama head coaches, like to say hello to Ross and Jeff Cheeseman listening in Canada. If you're joining us this afternoon, Jeff Cheeseman, the former Alabama Frozen Tide head coach, one of 3 in team history. Darren Awinder, the other head coach for Alabama. And we're going to have a shot here just over the blue line, but it's offside with 8:25 left to go in this game. 15 goals for Alabama, 1 for the Auburn Tigers. And here we go. We're back underway. It's in the defensive zone for Alabama as John Lavorne will be the puck carrier, and he moves it out to center ice. It goes to the far side to Mike DeLees. The defenseman DeLees breaking down the wing. In behind the goal of Hughes as he looks to wrap it around to the near side. He sets up his teammate Andre Merard. DeLees is open at the point, and Merard sends it down low for Zach Rude. A backhanded pass that's turned over as Rude could not hook up with DeLees high in the zone. Evan Barber moves around DeLees. He's lost his stick, and we'll see a collision here along the near side wall with 7 minutes and 45 seconds now left to go in this game. Alabama has a chance in the offensive zone. It's Rude. He dropped it back to no one, and Auburn will look to clear, but it's picked off by Merard, who shoots it, and the save is made by Michael Hughes. By the way, the 15 goals scored in this game, an Iron Cup record. The previous record for Alabama was 13 goals scored on the 19th of January in 2014 in a 13-1 victory over Auburn. But this is the most offensive production Alabama has ever had over their in-state rival, and it's shaping up to be the biggest victory in terms of largest margin of victory ever in this series. Mike DeLees at center, carries it onside, 3-on-2, fires wide of Michael Hughes, and DeLees is taken down. Now he gives a check to Mark Feeney, out to center. It's going to be a break now for the Tigers. Here's Pichel in, and he will shoot and score. Brandon Pichel has scored on Sam Schilling, and it's a 15-2 game with 6:47 left to go in the third period.
Just no one covering back there. A defenseman pitched, and it left Brandon Pichel all alone on the breakaway. Dane Santa almost got there on the back check, and then a nice move from Brandon Pichel to sneak it past Schilling, who you can't really expect to make a whole lot of saves on the breakaway. I mean, that's the toughest part about being a goalie are those breakaways, and he's played really well so far.
Braden Pichel fires again as he brought it down the ice with 6:38 left to go in the game, but Sam Schilling this time gets the better of Pichel and is able to turn it aside.
And I'm interested to see what the total shot count for Auburn is, because I think Sam Schilling's had to make a good amount of saves. I think Auburn had 21 shots last night. I wouldn't be surprised if they matched that total tonight. Only 2 let in for Sam Schilling, and he's looked very good since that first goal.
And officially, that's just Pichel's second goal of the season. Dane Santa in the corner in the offensive zone as Alabama has brought it down the ice. 6:25 left to go in this hockey game. A reminder that on our live video feed, we will keep the cameras rolling for the celebration for Alabama. So if you are listening live via Spreaker, we do encourage you to switch over to the free video production through the website alabamahockeyclub.com. You can click on the broadcast tab at the top of the page, and there's a video link under game number 3, which is today's game of the Iron Cup Series. We are hoping to get an on-ice interview with head coach Mike Quinville. If he's unavailable, we'll try to get it with a player, and that's assuming our technology works out, but we'll try to do something a little bit different here on the broadcast this afternoon to end a very nice weekend for Alabama, a confident team. They are going to win their 4th consecutive game for the first time all season long, and it's fired down the ice, and icing is called with 5 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the third period. And again, if you're in the Pelham, Alabama area, Birmingham, even in Tuscaloosa, there are 4 more opportunities to see this team play this season. This is a historical season, the first season of Alabama hockey at the ACHA Division I level, and they have 4 more home games left if you'd like to come out and support the team. And we're going to see a call here in the defensive zone as Alabama had possession of it out to center. And Ferrari was the puck carrier, and Ian Seufer will go off. So we're going to have a penalty, 15-2 the lead for Alabama, 5:21 left to go in this game.
It's going to be a slashing penalty on Ian Seufer. I think it was just a little bit of retaliation after the play, some chippiness behind the rush there, and Ian Seufer gets called for the slash.
Face-off won by Auburn. Giro fires, save made by Sam Schilling. It rolls out in front, and they score on the far side. Auburn tallies another one, and it's 15-3. Now Alabama's advantage, but just 5 seconds into the Ian Seufer penalty, Auburn lights the lamp.
Not a whole lot of defense being played by Alabama in this last couple of minutes. They've kind of been hanging Sam Schilling out to dry there. There was nothing he could do there. The puck just snuck right out front. All of the Alabama players were watching something else. I don't know what they were looking at there. The puck snuck past all of them and had an easy goal there.
A little bit too easy of a goal, Eric, and I know it's late in the game, and again, this game is over. Alabama's going to win big, but still play to the horn. And here's another shot, and they score again. It's another goal by the Tigers. It's Adam Carlson, and Sam Schilling has now given up 4 goals in this game with 5 minutes left to go. It's still a big lead for Alabama. 15-4 is the score.
The floodgates have kind of opened here for Sam Schilling, which is tough to see because he's played so well in this game. We've talked about it. He looked really good up until about the 8-minute mark here in the third period. Still, I don't think he's getting as much help from his defense as he could be getting, which you're up 15-1. You don't really want to play as hard as you can, but you want to play for Sam Schilling, who's getting his first start here, and you want to help him out as much as you can, which doesn't look like that's the case right now.
Absolutely, and there's 10 scratch players out of the lineup in today's game, so you only wonder what Schilling could have done with a full roster in front of him. Collins fires and scores as he brought it over the blue line. A nice drop pass, and Alabama will tally a goal, and the home team will put another one on the board. Again, this is a record for the Iron Cup, now 16 goals scored by Alabama.
What a shot there from Jake Collins. And now Collins with 13 points on the weekend. His 2 goals and 4 assists in this game. 1 point behind Dylan Teed.
4:15 left to go here in this game. And it's going to be in behind the goal of Sam Schilling. So all of a sudden, goals are being scored for each team. And we've now seen 20 goals in this hockey game. So if you like offense, and particularly offense from Alabama, this game was for you. Last night's game was more of a physical game, although this one almost turned into a disaster during the second period as the two teams got more than chippy. We saw some ejections earlier on. But John Lavorne will be the puck carrier in the defensive zone with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in game number 3 of the 2016 Iron Cup Series. Kendall Grayson and Eric Evenson with you as we have been all weekend long. It's been a pleasure to bring you this Iron Cup. And here's a shot from the near side. Save made by Sam Schilling off the stick of Mark Feeney. And Sam Schilling is down. And hopefully he's able to get back up. That looks like that may have stung him somewhere in the lower body. And with 3:15 left, we have a stoppage.
And Dylan Teed got an assist on that Collins goal. So Dylan Teed now has 15 points on the weekend. 3 goals, 5 assists tonight, 8 points for Dylan Teed.
Along the near side with 3:07 left, Alabama is going to look for it in the defensive zone. Ian Seufer is involved in the near side scrum. And the clock continues to wind. There's a big hack on the lower body of Seufer as the Auburn player just chopped him in the lower body on the clearing attempt. And Seufer's not happy about that. I think he's looking at his stick. It almost broke there. But Alabama will skate back into the defensive zone with 2:49 left to play in this game.
20 total goals on the scoreboard right now, Kendall. And there's been a lot of action in this game, and the fans here love it.
Here's a break for Jerry Jordan. He's taken down over the blue line. A penalty is whistled behind the play. Alabama with possession now. Auburn has it, and Alabama will have a power play that will almost run out the clock. There'll be 38 seconds left if Alabama doesn't score. And I'd be surprised if they were extremely aggressive here in this situation. They have a huge lead in this game, but really have shown their offensive abilities this weekend. And Giro is whistled for the slash. Andre Merard will lean over stick over the left wing side and look to take the face-off here for Alabama in the offensive zone. And the referee is calling an Auburn player over to the penalty box here, Andrew Inches. And he's going to step in as Giro was given the penalty on the board, but I think they may have just got the wrong man here. And so Inches takes a seat. There's the whistle. And we took the face off, and they blew it dead. Nobody knew what was going on, and 1 second will tick off the board. And I'd be shocked if they attempt to put this back on. It's going to have no outcome, no major outcome on this game, and they do not. So we're back underway. It's Benedetto back to Seufer. Alabama on the power play. Seufer fires, blocked in front of the goal. They pick it up. Alabama fires, and Michael Hughes makes the save. It goes to the far side. 2:22 left to play in this hockey game as we play on this afternoon from the Pelham Civic Complex. Dane Santa working it on the power play. The pass to the far side to Andre Merard. Holding on to it to Ian Seufer. He's open, slap shot, and the save is made by Michael Hughes. Alabama with a 16-4 advantage. Ian Seufer holds on to it, gives the pass to Benedetto. One-timer fake from the far side from Merard. He will not let it go, and it's given back to Benedetto. He plays catch with his teammate Merard, the forward, getting the pass from the defenseman Benedetto. The shot goes wide, and it's covered up with 1 minute, 11 seconds left on the penalty to Andrew Inches of Boston, Massachusetts. 1 minute and 48 seconds, that's all we have here. And then Alabama will officially be the champions of the 2016 Iron Cup. They will celebrate with a sweep over the Auburn Tigers and will win their 17th consecutive game over Auburn, 11th of the season, and they will finish the Iron Cup series with a 7-2-0-1 record at home here at the Pelham Civic Complex. Buterak tips one wide as we're back underway. Auburn is going to fall to 8-7 on the season and 2-5 away from their home in Columbus, Georgia. This is their 15th game of the season for Alabama, playing their 25th contest of the year. Lavorne fires over the blue line. Alabama's back on side in the offensive zone. In the corner, Ferrari, far side, shot on the way, and it's gloved up by Michael Hughes, who continues to have to make saves for his team. 72 seconds left. 35 seconds left on the power play here for Alabama. Face-off won by Alabama. It's Rob Ferrari off the backhand to the far side. Slap shot coming, and it goes wide of Michael Hughes, blasted to the near side. 1 minute left to go in the Iron Cup. John Lavorne holding on to it up high. 18 seconds left on the man advantage. He walks it down low. One-timer from the far side. Fanned on out in front, and Alabama couldn't find it. Buterak looking for it behind the goal. Give and go. Buterak's on the doorstep. He fell down as the penalty is due to expire in 3, 2, and 1. As a few folks jump up here looking to exit the game a bit early and head to their cars. Alabama will have it in the defensive zone with half a minute left. 16-4 is the score. Buterak lays a hit on his man. Going down in the corner was Braden Pichel, and Alabama will now bring the center. No, they won't. It's kept in. Quick shot by Giro goes wide with 10 seconds left here to the blue line. Giro will hold. He fires. Ferrari has it. Alabama will win the 2016 Iron Cup 16-4 in the final game. And there's the applause from the home fans. Alabama will celebrate in front of their goaltender, Sam Schilling, who improves to 1-0 in his career as a starter at Alabama and 1-0 in ACHA play. The Auburn Tigers with 3 losses on the weekend. Good bit of sportsmanship here as the two teams will get together and shake hands at center ice to complete the Iron Cup. Eric, we're going to have you run downstairs and try to pick up an interview, but really quickly, your thoughts here on the weekend as Alabama once again sweeps Auburn.
Great weekend. We saw a few different players get their first goals, their first points of the season, and then we see Sam Schilling cap it off with his first win as a member of the Alabama Frozen Tide. Just great to see. A lot of people got on the scoreboard. A lot of people got on the score sheet, assists, setting up their teammates, great puck movement, great defense, great goaltending, just really good performance overall from this Alabama team. They didn't come out really quick on Friday, but after that, the energy was there, the intensity was there. You could tell they really wanted to win this year. So just a great weekend for Alabama.
As the game is over, Eric will send you downstairs, and we'll see if we can pick up an interview with someone from Alabama. But again, thanks for joining us here as you're watching the live pictures on your screen. Alabama has won the Iron Cup. We see our recruiting coordinator and manager of operations, Jerron Jacobs, currently holding on to the cup. And we thank him for his time on the broadcast yesterday. He has worked so hard for this program and the big recruiting weekend this weekend. So as this game comes to a close, 16-4 is the final score. And we will see if we can get Eric Evenson out there on the ice with an interview. And they've just announced the MVP award to Dylan Teed, the MVP of the 2016 Iron Cup. And we'll see if we can throw it downstairs here to Eric Evenson as he is with head coach Mike Quinville. And we'll see if our technology works for us as we'll throw it down to Eric and Coach Q. As Coach Q is going to squeeze into the picture here. Eric will join him. And we'll wait for just a moment and see if we can hear live from the Alabama head coach. But again, it's been a great weekend, and we thank you for all of your support on our broadcast. It's been fun to bring you these games, and we enjoy what we do here, and we hope that we can bring you many, many more in the future. We will have 4 more home video broadcasts to complete the season, and then we'll play 2 games on the road against Oklahoma to end our year, the first year at ACHA Division I, the 2015-2016 campaign for Alabama. With the 3 wins on the weekend, Alabama improves to 11-13-0-1 and 7-2-0-1 here at the Pelham Civic Complex. The 16 goals scored by Alabama, the most ever in any Iron Cup game. Head coach Mike Quinville improves to 17-0 all-time against the Tigers. So it's a special afternoon here in Pelham. And we'll send it down to Eric Evenson with head coach Mike Quinville. As you see on your screen, we'll see if we can get an interview.
Here with Coach Mike Quinville. Coach, physical game today. What did you tell your players when it started getting chippy in there?
Well, you know, we had a pretty good lead on them, so we just want to stay out of the rough stuff and just play the game the way it's supposed to be played and pretty much back off and you know, just play the game.
All right, and Sam Schilling, first career start. How did you think he played?
You know, I think he struggled on that first shot. I think he was a little bit nervous being the first game, but I think he, the final, you know, 3 periods after that first goal, I thought he played pretty well. 17-0 and 6 Iron Cup victories here, Coach. What does that mean to you? Is it really 17-0? Wow.
17-0.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. No, I'm pretty excited. You know, these guys put in a lot of time and effort over the year, and obviously this is a big rivalry and a big game for us, and winning another Iron Cup is pretty great. You know, I'm just proud of these guys and how they played and won the hockey game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
And so that was head coach Mike Quinville and Eric Evenson as we wrap up the broadcast here on Sunday afternoon. If you're listening live on our Spreaker audio feed, we will head off the air, but you're encouraged to go to our live video broadcast on alabamahockeyclub.com as we will stay live on the video. We'll shut off the audio here, but we'll leave the video pictures up for everyone to enjoy as Alabama has won the 2016 Iron Cup. For everyone here on the broadcast, our producer Julia Plungy, camera operator Emily Simbel, For Eric Evenson, our color analyst, I am Kendall Grayson, play-by-play voice of the Alabama Frozen Tide. 16-4, Alabama gets the victory over Auburn this afternoon, and they win the 2016 Iron Cup with 3 wins over their in-state rival. Until next weekend, good night from Pelham.